Why don't you say that, sit at your fingertips, wanna kiss those lips? You cannot behave like that, is that a fact? Well, mine's real stiff, cause I feel all washed upside down and out of place, unerasing every social grace I lack, like a heart attack. You can have it back. Goodbye, my love, without a trace. Why don't you lose your grip on playing innocent? Got me turning on me. You never wanna give again. I'm shy when I ask you why. You don't know what to say, so you just say goodbye. Get good at comparisons, and even better at avoiding your friends. I'm so sorry, I'm so delicate. So there you go. Goodbye, my love is out of breath. My love, is it ever good enough? 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 Do you want me to? I do. Do you want me to? I do. I do. My love, is it ever good enough? 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 My love, is it ever good
Yo, 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 yo. Let's go, baby, let's go.
My love, is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough?
Yo, 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 yo. Let's go.
My machine has perfect stars in you.
Dude, it's so funny, like,
Don't you know there's nothing
watching, or listening to this old music, dude. Because I just don't hear this stuff. And yeah, Jenny is right. I've tried to not be a late night person, but like, bro, I've been a 4 a.m.er my whole existence. I don't know what it is. I like the night. Wishing you could be someone else. Loving you is a lot like screaming for help. Stars in you. Don't you know there is nothing I won't do? Cheers. Your distractions, all you can find. Maybe this whole thing is a big waste of time. It is late night. Don't you know there is nothing I won't do for you? All right, we're gonna bring the echo down. Let's go. Oh, Lordy. You're retired? Let's go. Dude, retired is the way to be. So, dude, they're still, is it my understanding that they're still fucking around with this bill? Is that what's happening? You may as well be retired. You work from home. Yeah, I work from home too. Today was crazy content day because Jenny is starting to edit shorts for me. So we're doing a little content team. So today, though, was crazy, right? Because today I made 3 YouTube videos, 2 YouTube shorts, 3 TikToks, right? That's crazy. Last you heard, they still don't have the votes. Yeah, well, so here's the issue, right? As we're going to see with this thing is I believe the issue in the House is going to turn out a lot like the Senate. Right? I mean, right? Can you not see that happening? That you're going to get people that are going to hold out and they're going to bribe them. Okay? There's like 5 holdouts and they're going to ask for concessions and they're going to bribe them for shit. Oh, my state needs $100 million for this. Oh, my state needs $50 million for this. Right? Yeah, I saw that Kilmar's talking. Right? About the viciousness in the prison. I mean, dude, the entire Republican Party is just vicious and brutal and terrible. But here's the deal, though, guys. You realize what happens here, though, because the House and the Senate have to vote on a bill with the exact same language. Okay? That is the one rule that in order for this to count, the House and Senate bill, they have to be voting on a bill with identical language, which means if they change it, it goes back to the Senate. Okay? If they give these 5 people any concessions, they change one word of that thing, it goes back to the Senate and they got to vote again. So this is, so maybe the second time around, Murkowski finally realizes she's a fucking, a clunker. Maybe she stops this thing. Dude, can we just have some people that are going to stop this thing? Right? Dude, yes, you're right. Elon Musk may be trying to do it too. It might get stuck in limbo. It might. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Literally, the only provision that I am really concerned about in this bill. Now, granted, there's a lot to be concerned about in this bill. Obviously, with the Medicaid and the SNAP and that shit, like, we can take the House back and some of that could be reversed. But the thing that really alarms me about this is that budget for ICE. Like, ICE is getting a budget that is similar to what a small country's military would have. Dude, ugly doctor, let's go. Appreciate the sticker. Let's go. That's a good one, too. Oh, I am number one. I like it. I like it. I'm down with that. That ICE budget, though, dude, that shit makes me nervous because look at how damaging they've been with, like, no money. If they have like $20 billion, you know how many fucking Proud Boys they can hire with $20 billion? That's a lot of Proud Boys, right? That to me is some scary shit. Morgan, let's go. Oh, let's go. That one's good too. What is that one? What is that person doing? What are they doing? I love it. Are they smacking someone? Is that what it is? Dude, I want it to be a smack. It's probably something less violent. Oh, that one's good. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate you. Yeah, dude. So this shit is crazy. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, let's look at what we got. So House Republicans. Jesus. Look at this, dude. This is funny. What a great tweet here. House Speaker Mike Johnson displays a level of joyous exuberance that Republicans only experience when voting to take health care away from old people. Dude, it's so true. I mean, tonight, man, I was making that video about alligator Auschwitz, and like, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see the joy on their faces. Like, there's a prison and they're laughing about people getting eaten by wildlife, and they're laughing about people dying at that camp, and they are just yucking it up. Like, they're so excited to maybe kill some immigrants in their little makeshift prison, right? I mean, the way they've dehumanized the people already, like, they have dehumanized them to the point of they're laughing about them like they're video game characters or something. Dude, let's go. Kin, welcome from Denmark. Dude, don't give up Greenland. All right? We're counting on you, Kin. You guys need to hold strong, baby. Dude, that's what I called it, alligator Auschwitz. Right? We're going to have no Greenland. You guys are holding on to that shit. Dude, he looks like we need to put a restraining order on this motherfucker. Look at this guy, dude. I'm sorry, Mike Johnson, but you're not allowed within 1,500 meters of a school. Dude, this guy, oh shit. Jesus Christ. Frightening. Look at that, though. All right, love him or hate him, but look at that. The Democrats are united against this thing. Okay? If you want to donate subs, it has to be done on a laptop or a computer. Oh, you can't buy memberships on the phone? I don't know. I think you can. I maybe you can't donate them, but you can. I know that I have join links on, like, when I watch like Brian Tyler Cohen and shit. I do have a join link on the phone. So you just can't gift. Is that what it is? You can buy for yourself, but you can't gift. But you have to just open YouTube in Chrome. Oh, there we go. Open it in Chrome or Safari. All right. Dude, let's go. Marisol, thank you. Let's go. Speedy Steve with the gifted. Hey, Speedy Steve, can I share the message you sent me? Dude, privacy violated. So let's go. Dude, if I can share that message, let me know. Because that message was like moving, bro. I can share it. Okay, so Speedy Steve sent me a message earlier today about the dance parties. And I guess Steve has been grappling with some depression, and he gets it pretty hard when it hits him. And apparently, like, the dance party we did yesterday just really fucking made his day. And he sent me a really powerful message. Dude, Jazzy with the 5 gifted memberships, Brutus, 5 gifteds. And I mean, it was just really powerful, like really moving shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, because like I don't know Speedy Steve personally. I've seen him in the comments. He's been a member for a while, right? And for a couple months now. And what it is in AA, I've been sober 18 years. And in AA, I had a lot of friends in AA who got hit really hard with depression. And so I feel for people that get it like heavy like that. I mean, I don't. I'm really lucky. I have crazy mania and very little depression. But let's send some love for fucking Speedy Steve out there and let him know that I'm sending good vibes. All right? And that depression, I know it's going to come and then it's going to go eventually, right? But man, we're going to dance that shit off, bro. We're going to dance it off. Right? Dude, let's go. Dude, should we do another goal? Should we try and get another dance party in honor of Steve? Do we do that? You want to do it? Let's do it. It's real simple. It's $2 super chats or higher. All right, I probably should have started it off, but this one is a dance party for fucking Speedy Steve. Dude, here we go. There it is. There it is. Let's go. The goal has begun. Here's the goal. Oh shit. We're gonna be a one-man depression cure. Oh lordy. Oh shit. There it is, dude. Let's go. Eugene's in the house, dude. Morgan's in the house for Speedy Stevie. Let's go, dude. Dude. All right, let's go. I'm excited. Dude, let's go. Dude, shit eating grin. Good. You deserve it. You deserve it. We're going to get that shit rolling, bro. We're going to do our part. I mean, we can't end your depression, right? But we can give you a little something to feel good about while you're depressed. You know, that's kind of the way I look at it. Is that shit just sort of does its own thing, right? That shit fucking... That shit does its own thing, and you know what I mean? And so you can't necessarily, like, control that stuff, right? You can't make it end, but you can. Dude, let's go privacy. Let's go, baby. Mitchie, let's go, boss. You, what you can do is you can, like, have something good while you're fucking, you know, while you're suffering through it. Right? That's kind of how I look at it. Let's go. Dude. Sending support from London. Let's go, Sammy. Appreciate you. All right. So now back to the topic of the day. So I'm going to give the Dems a little bit. Aaron, let's go. Appreciate that. I'm going to give the Dems a little bit of credit for at least being a united caucus. Okay? That's one thing that I feel like the Democrats have done pretty well, with the exception of like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema in the Senate who fucked that shit up. But I feel like the House Democrats have done a pretty good job, even going back to Pelosi and the Obama years of like getting all on board. Let's go, Jazzy. Appreciate those gifteds too, guys. You guys are amazing. All right, let me just tell you, those 10 gifted memberships, that shit is the bomb. All right. Don't forget to like the stream while you're here. Desiree, let's go. But I feel like the Dems have been pretty good about uniting a caucus. Malia Don, let's go. There it is. So Benny's going crazy. Is he? Is Benny Johnson flipping out on AOC? Why? What's his deal? I mean, we know Benny Johnson doesn't like strong women, right? Because he's one of those like weird Christian weirdos. What's he doing on AOC? Let's go. Privacy. Thank you. Yes, dude, depression does suck. Oh, no, I saw that. Okay. No, I definitely saw that. Well, you know what he's been trying to do, right? Is he's been trying to like chip away at her working class roots, like being a bartender. Like it's his mission to be like AOC is a rich kid, right? Dude, Benny's a Russian paid bot with multiple firings for plagiarism. Okay, dude, we already have 7 of 10. Holy shit, bro. I'm going to be dancing. I'm going to have to go to the gym, dude. I'm going to have to go to the gym and start getting in shape for this shit. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's get caught up on some of this bill stuff.
We've kept our heads down, we've kept our sleeves rolled up, we've kept our shoulder to the wheel, and all we've asked for is a fair shot and for this place to stop screwing us over. But you can't help yourselves. You got us into terrible trade deals that made Wall Street rich and shipped all of our jobs overseas. You bail out the banks while neglecting rural America. You rigged the economy so the corporate PACs that are funding your campaigns make huge profits, jacking up costs on folks who can't afford it. And now this bill will kill good blue-collar manufacturing jobs that we need to rebuild the economy in this country. It closes rural hospitals, it defunds health care, all to give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to your cronies. Don't tell me you give a shit about the middle class when all you're doing is shitting on the middle class.
All right, let's go, bro. Dude, they're starting to use language that is making me think I'll fit in there. Have you noticed? They're starting to fucking swear and shit.
Good job.
Chair would remind
Finger
both
wagging
sides of two things.
Oh,
Please direct your remarks to the chair.
oh.
That is a House rule.
All right.
And to avoid vulgar speak.
Fuck you, boss. Fuck you, shithead. How's that? How's that for vulgar?
We do have families in the gentleman will not be recognized.
Oh, families can't hear the word shit, bro. Dude, what world are these fucking people living in, bro? Like, families. He said shitting. That's what he said, dude. That's not even like a curse word, right? You know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah, they're like, okay, you guys are worried about the word shit. We're worried about you actually killing kids by taking away their health care. But which one's really important, right? Like, ooh, you said shit. You're going to alligator Auschwitz. It's like, bro, you just killed, like, you know, fucking 200,000 kids by taking away their health care. And he's like, oh, don't say shit, though. Dude, I know these clowns, though. Dude, Arkansas. This guy's from Arkansas. Steve Womack. Jesus Christ. Dude, my sister used to live in northern Arkansas. She lived in Willow Springs, okay? It's a religious commune. Holy shit, was that weird, bro. When we went to her house, man, dude, it was everybody like out in the woods in this Christian religious community. Like we're talking speaking in tongues, like deeply evangelical Christian community. It was some weird shit, guys. I was there in like 6th grade or something like that. It was pretty wild. And those are the same people that are like, they would vote for concentration camps in like 2 seconds. It's wild. Oh my God. All right, here we go.
Ask unanimous consent to amend the rule to make in order the amendment at the desk that protects against any cuts to Medicaid and SNAP.
Gentlelady from North Carolina has not yielded for that purpose, and therefore the unanimous consent request cannot be entertained.
Yep, nope, they're not going to do it. Dude, they're not going to do it. So, all right, so they haven't gotten this. So who are the holdouts, right? Who are the holdouts right now? Ooh, I like Marcus. Maxwell, sorry. I keep calling him Marcus, dude. Dude, I keep calling him Marcus, bro. I need to fix my shit, boss. I really do.
I asked unanimous consent to amend the rule to make in order the amendment at the desk that protects against any cuts to Medicaid and SNAP.
The gentlelady from North Carolina has not yielded for that purpose, and therefore the unanimous consent request cannot be entertained.
Oh, got it. So that was the other side of that thing when he was requesting that. So who are the holdouts? Let's see. So what do we got? See, here's what's crazy about this, guys. You ready? You ready for the mic drop here? None of those guys have read this bill. Okay? I think most of the people in that chamber have not read the entire bill. Right? It got voted on. When did it get passed? Last night at like 5 a.m. or some shit? You're telling me these guys have read this shit? I don't think they have. I think there are staffers poring over this thing. I mean, that's why I've been seeing content where they're starting to pull out pieces of things that are in there. Like, nobody even knows what's in this thing. It's like 943 pages, right? The copy that I have right here is 887 pages, bro. Look at this thing, dude. It's crazy. And some of the shit they talk about in there, like Social Security, is not even in there. Like Donald Trump keeps talking about no tax on Social Security, but that doesn't actually exist. Oh shit. So people that are voting no aren't in the building? All right, we gotta let's try to get the activity on this. Is the vote still going on? I understand that the vote is still going on. All right, let's see.
We are going to be following this for you all night, and we will certainly break in with anything new, anything important for you to know.
Oh, shit!
For now, though, we'll go back to our regular programming already in progress.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
That we'll see this.
So Fox News had been covering the proceedings live, and 48 minutes ago, they ended their live coverage. That is bad news. Okay, when Fox News gives you the hook of the live coverage, you know that you're in a bit of a quagmire, okay? Because, dude, I mean, it looks like there's these 5 holdouts, 8 not voting, but that's a low confidence right there, right? Lack of confidence. For sure. With that fucking ruling there. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. All right, here, what is this? This is a Fox host here.
Happened just now. Trump on Truth Social said the following: for Republicans, this should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous. Just now, the president is still up. If he's watching, Mr. President, call in. We will do some coercion together. Yes. And that's the whole thing.
Yikes. Dude, a Fox News host saying call in and we'll do some coercion together. So now Fox News on air is admitting that they're like, you know, they do coercion with the president in trying to convince people to do his bidding. That's quite the news org you got going there. Oh, Lord, bro. Dude, clownery. Oh, my God, bro. This is crazy. Look at this shit, though. Look at the poverty here, guys. Right? There's one blue state, which is New Mexico. 4 out of the top 5 poverty states are all like Republican. Louisiana is Mike Johnson's home state. Did you guys see the thing about Mike Johnson? Did you see what happened? His state, Mike Johnson's home state of Louisiana, issued their legislature, which is stacked Republican. Hello? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were. Dude, so their legislature, who, T-Mac, let's go, which is stacked Republican, issued a condemnation, okay? They issued a condemnation, right? This is crazy. Let me find this, okay? The Republican legislature of Louisiana condemned the bill. I mean, dude, it's bad. It's bad, bro. Right? Let me find this. Yeah, right here. You ready? Watch this.
I mean, who would vote for this bill? Let's look at what is happening. We'll take David Valadao. He wrote a letter to the speaker back at the beginning of this process saying these Medicaid cuts are unsustainable in my district. Then he voted yes on the House version. 2 weeks ago, he joined another letter with 16 House Republicans saying, again, we cannot afford to cut health care in this way for our communities. And we will see tonight, I'm afraid, that once again, they're going to vote yes, because the fear of Donald Trump is overriding what's the right thing to do for the people they represent. And let's look at Louisiana.
Here it comes.
Louisiana's state legislature passed a resolution condemning this bill because of the impact on Medicaid. In Speaker Johnson's district, 40% of Louisianians are on Medicaid in his own district.
Isn't that crazy? Speaker Johnson, the little shithead troll at the head of this thing, his district has 40% of the population in his district is on Medicaid. And the state legislature issued a resolution condemning this bill. That is, the Louisiana state legislature is like high percentage Republican. Their own party is shitting on this thing, man.
Louisiana is a supermajority Republican.
Yeah.
This is not easy to write off as some woke institution that they don't believe in.
Yeah, I believe the Louisiana legislature is like almost 70% Republican. Yeah, Louisiana state legislature is 72% Republican. Borrow bad. Let's go, baby. 72% Republican, and they issued a resolution condemning. Dude, like, what the fuck, bro? All right? Dude, thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. Enjoy your work day. All right? Peace out. And thanks for being here. We love Denmark. We love Europe. One more, and it's a dance party for Speedy Steve. We're getting this thing. Dude, isn't that crazy? That is, to me, that is insane that the 72% Louisiana state legislature voted to condemn the bill. And they're still going to vote on it. Oh, shit. There we go. Uh-oh. It's time. All right. It's time to get the dancing shoes on. Dude, we are in the Matrix. All right, we're gonna get this dance party out of the way. All right, we're gonna get it up. Famous last words. Let me find a good song. Let's break down here and let's find a good song. Epidemic Sound. All right. We're going to find something that jams here for good old Speedy Steve. All right. What do we got here? Let's find a good one. Oh, sorry, guys. Didn't mean to blow up your ears right there. My bad. Nah. Gotta find something groovy. No, I can't dance to copywritten music. It's got to be from Epidemic Sound, boss. YouTube doesn't allow copywritten music. You're getting old? Hey, man. So are we all. We're getting there. Oh, I kind of like this. Oh yeah, I think I like this, man. This has got a little groove to it. All right, I like the pop, bro. All right, you ready? We're getting into it, baby. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Little dance party. Let me limber up. Woo! Put the Discord link. The Discord link is in the description. Right? If you need the Discord link, just look in the description of the YouTube live and the Discord link is in there. All right? So, yeah, you don't even need it. It's always in the description. All right, here we go. All right, you ready? Let's fucking get into it. This one's for Speedy Steve. Making my day, baby. Song. I feel like Speedy Steve deserves something with a little more of a groove, man. I thought that beat was going to develop and it was not. So we continue on. Dude, it did. It started great, but it just didn't develop. He deserves good, man. It's depression we're dealing with. Dude, we're gonna find something good. Don't worry about it.
I just wanna make you feel alright. That's just love.
Dude, yeah, okay, got the blood pumping. Here we go, here we go. We're getting it, we're getting it. Come on, baby. I mean, if all else fails, I'll go back and play one from 2 days ago. I know we have a good one in the can, right? I feel like I'm not finding one very good. Last night's song was pretty good.
Surroundings can't. Yeah, this ain't no sugar-coated love. Eyes were made to cry, but
There I go. Which one? Which one is there you go? Anything? All right. Dude, I'm going to the list, bro. I'm gonna go to the saved ones. I'm gonna go back to the hide and seek. This one's from like 2 days ago. All right, this one was good. All right, we're gonna go back. We're going back 2 days. All right, we're going back in time. All right, with a little bit of hide and seek. All right, here we go. Here we go. Speedy Steve, we got you, boss.
found you, oh, I found you, oh, I found you, yeah. You thank the gods I found you. Yeah, proof those who wait never. I've been hungry for affection, baby. Best believe that you got my attention, baby. Now I see you're there in my reflection. You're a part of me, and it's in peace. Hide and seek till I found you. Oh, I found you. Oh, I found you. Yeah. Hide and seek till I found you. Oh, I found you. Oh, I found you. Say that you won't hide away. Yeah, if you stay, I will make you my fate. I've been hungry for affection, baby. Best believe that you got my attention, baby. Now I see you're there in my reflection. You're a part of me.
Let's go get up and dance, people! Dude, you're right. It is like some YouTube copyright free shit. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some due diligence and actually find like some decent tracks. We're gonna be doing that a lot. It definitely burned a few calories. Oh. Legendary time was had by all. Yeah, I'm glad, Steve. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm not sure that was my most spirited dance performance ever, but I'll take it. I showed up. We made it happen. Oh, and yeah, that is from Epidemic Sound. And so, yeah, that's why that stuff sounds like that. It's got that royalty-free music sound to it. Whoa, let's go. All right. So that was a celebration. That was for this goal. We did a dance party for Speedy Steve, and we achieved the goal of 10 $2 super chats or more. All right. Let's go. Woo! Yeah, no, there are some royalty-free bangers. Workout? Yeah, you hungry? Yeah, get in there, baby. All right. Now we can get back to our fucking task at hand, which is looking at how the poverty, the most brutal poverty in America is in the red states. Okay. And in red states with like super majorities of government. Super majorities of Republican government. Yeah, well, so Aaron, I believe you're not wrong there, okay? There is magic to be had, okay, by dancing, for one, and by group dancing. You know what I'm saying? There is like significant magic to be had by like flash mobs or group dancing. Just everybody dancing at once. Anytime you collectively come together and put that kind of energy out into the world, you're changing the world, man. I feel like just dancing unselfconsciously is changing the world. Can we shame Alaskan voters? No, not really, because I don't think the Alaskan voters would have wanted her to vote that way. Like even most of the voters are pissed at 𝗫𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 thank you for noticing. I appreciate that. Oh. Oh, nice. Oh, you're in Omaha? Let's go. So let me ask you this, Bat Dad. Do you know, you said you're in Omaha, you know O'Leavers? Have you ever heard of O'Leavers? Do you know what that place is? Omaha's pretty wild, guys. Right? I don't know what it's like now, but 25 years ago, I used to play in Omaha with a bunch of the Saddle Creek people. And that's a record label, an indie record label in Omaha. And Omaha's cutoff time for alcohol is like an hour sooner than the Iowa city across the water. So everybody would leave the bar in Omaha and go drive to Iowa and like finish their night off in Iowa and then drive back. I mean, not really the healthiest. Moved. Oh, so you know O'Leavers. Nice. I used to play at O'Leavers like on every tour. Yeah, there's like, I believe Omaha stopped serving at like 1 a.m. and in Iowa, they stopped at 2 a.m. So everybody at like 10 to 1 would bomb across to Iowa and get hammed and then drive back, right? Oh, shit. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. It's pretty crazy. What is the city across? I'm trying to, Council Bluffs. Yes. Oh, they closed the same time? Oh, nice. See, this was like in 2004, right? Did they change it then? Because in 2004, everybody would leave Omaha and go driving across to fucking Council Bluffs. Oh, they did. All right. They changed closing time. Well, that was probably a wise move. Okay. That was a good move because that was dangerous, right? I can only imagine they had a lot of accidents. But yeah, but O'Leary's is really good. I used to play at O'Leary's on every show. And yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one right there. That video that Bradshaw put in there. Dance Like Nobody's Watching. Angela Trimber, great video. But yeah, dude, at O'Leary's, though, what was so great is if you got to know them and you kind of became in the O'Leary's family, they would let you stay there. All right. They would let you stay there. Like you could spend the night in the bar. The owner would like give you the keys and then you just had to lock it up in the morning so bands could fucking sleep there and not have to like get a hotel room and shit. It was like super cool. So I was a one-man indie rock band. So I played, I sang and played guitar and keyboards with a laptop. And I was just a one-man show. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool. It was good times. It was a lot of work, but good times. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. O'Leary's was good shows, dude. I had really good shows there. You only played in 4- and 5-piece bands? Nice. Yeah, I've been mostly in 3-piece bands. Right? Did O'Leary's have volleyball? No. What is volleyball? They have volleyball? Like they have a team? Or they have like a volleyball court outside? Is that what they have? That sounds crazy, dude. Dude, what an idiot. Dude, look at this fucking Fox guest, bro. What is going on with these people? Dude, look at this woman. Ready? Watch this.
Might be leaving out.
Yeah, well, I just think it's interesting that all of a sudden people voted for Thomas Massie. Like, I don't remember voting for Thomas Massie with this. I remember voting for Donald Trump to get this bill passed. And I feel like...
Dude, she's like, how do you think Thomas Massie got his job there, fucknuts? Dude, what is she doing? She's like, people voted for Thomas Massie? I don't remember voting for Thomas Massie. Well, you'd have to live in his district. Dude, we are cooked, bro.
A lot of Americans who voted for Donald Trump feel the same way, especially not only with Thomas Massie, but a lot of the other Republicans who are kind of leaning towards no. They didn't vote for these Congress people. They voted for President Trump. They voted for this mandate. And if you're going to vote no on this, then you're voting along with Democrats, especially Democrats like Maxine Dexter, who was on the Hill today dressed in a white robe, who also
Dude, Maxine Dexter, that's my rep, bro. She's a doctor, by the way.
Visited El Salvador to go see 𝗙𝗪𝗡 Garcia, who killed Americans. This is something that a lot of people are passionate about passing.
He killed, now they're saying Abrego Garcia killed Americans. Dude, that didn't happen. You see that? Boy, that escalated quickly. Their lies? Dude, they just brazenly lies. Dude, what the fuck, bro? And she's wearing a cross while doing it, too. She's wearing a cross and she's using Jesus's name while she just goes out there and just lies, which, by the way, a lie is an equal amount of sin as murder, according to the Bible. Okay. There's no degree of sin, right? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? There's no degree of sin. A sin is a sin is a sin.
If you're not siding with Republicans, then unfortunately you're siding with Democrats, anti-American.
Might be leaving.
Dude, anti-American. Holy shit, bro. What is she doing? So, yeah, let's look at Maxine Dexter, though, because that's my rep. Okay? There she is. See, first off, what's crazy about this is, and this is what that Trump flunky doesn't know, is Maxine Dexter is a doctor, okay? She's not wearing a costume. She didn't just put a white coat on to pretend to be a doctor. She's a fucking physician, bro. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, this is what she did her whole life. She was a physician. So they are doctors. It's a caucus of Congress people that are doctors, you know? You know what I'm saying? They're so dumb though, bro. They're so like such fucking clowns, right? They are such fucking clowns. But yeah, that's Maxine Dexter. I like her. She's pretty feisty. Okay? She is. She's pretty feisty. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, dude. She is a feist machine. All right? She's a good woman, right? She is, and look at them though. They talk shit about her, right? They call her dog ugly, right? Yeah, they call her transitioning. Like, bro, they have like transphobia on the brain, like a wet brain of transphobia. These fucking dumb MAGA motherfuckers carry around. Like, what is going on with them? You know what I'm saying? I saw a post, guys. It is it's like a mental disorder. So I saw a post. Have you seen Zohran Mamdani's wife? Okay, Zohran Mamdani's wife she's a Syrian artist. Okay, Zohran, his wife, is a Syrian woman. She's an artist. She is hot. Well, I saw a bunch of MAGAs like arguing that she was a man. They were in the replies around her arguing that she's a man. And it's like, goddamn, these people are dumb. Let me see if I can find the tweet. Let me find the tweet. I mean, first off, she's clearly not a man, right? You know what I'm saying? She's not even remotely. Oh yeah, here's the one. This is the one. Look at this. This is Zohran Mamdani's wife. First, she says, not very Muslim, okay? And then this person's, I'm not 100% convinced that is a she. Dude, I've seen like 100 of these. They are literally fucking, right? They are literally like wet-brained. Dude, they are wet-brained, okay? But here she is. Okay, she's an artist. This is her page on Instagram, okay? She's an artist. She does really, her art is like really wild. It like pays a lot of homage to, you know, the culture that she like grew up in. You know what I'm saying? It's like really interesting. I find it really fucking interesting. Because again, I don't know a lot about the Middle East, right? The Middle East is still like a brand new space that I'm learning about, right? But dude, there is like this uncivilized media. I really like her art. Her art is like super intense, you know, because a lot of so she is from Syria. She's Syrian, right? He was born here. Okay. He was born here. And his mom is a film director, okay? So he was born in America, but she is from Syria. And you can see her art reflects a lot of the like Middle East woman. A lot of these pictures are like, I think the way Middle East women get seen, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stereotypes attached to women from the Middle East about their body hair, about the way they carry themselves, about their physical features. there's like an awful lot of like racist tropes. I mean, obviously we know this against the Jewish people as well. You know, there's just a significant amount of like racist tropes that fly around those people, but around that part of the country. I know, Rebecca, all women are hairy, you know, and to varying degrees, you know what I mean? But yeah, she's pretty amazing. But the fact that they're like transvestigating her is super wild. Okay. They just can't, you know what I mean? They can't not. Oh yeah. He was born in Uganda from of Indian descent. Yeah. Dude, it is crazy though. Like, can you imagine? I don't even know, like what this person said, liking hot girls is gay now. Like they are, you know what I'm saying? They are so like crazed about it. So can I share a video with you guys? Can I? I found a video that I would like to share. You guys, let me know if we get like a copy warning or whatever. I don't think we will, but I want to share you a video from Zoran's YouTube, because he does a video where he talks about socialism. In fact, here, I put it on my TikTok. Let's go to the TikTok and I'll share it with you. It's this one. You ready?
Socialism.
Watch this. Watch this video, guys. Okay, this video is really really fucking unique because he tackles a little bit of like what it means, you know, the whole fear around this word socialism. You ready? Watch this.
Socialism. Terrifying word. A lot of people are afraid of the word socialism, and a lot of people have misconceptions about what it means. I'm a democratic socialist, and what socialism means to me is a commitment to dignity.
To dignity.
A state that provides whatever is necessary for its people to live a dignified life. So the typical big three that we talk about are housing, healthcare, education. But frankly, if you look around in the moment of this pandemic, we see how many more things are necessary to live with a dignified life. We need our internet because we have all of our kids staying at home doing remote learning. And if you don't have internet, you can't be taught, you can't learn. Whether it's childcare, whether it's public transportation, whether it's our utilities, whether it's our housing, whether it's our healthcare, these are not things that should be up for debate. Because we see what happens when we let the market be the sole determinant of the distribution of dignity. It picks and chooses people who can survive and people who can thrive. It is up to us here across New York to make it very clear that every single one of us deserves a shot, that an injury to one is an injury to all, that our future is built on the notion of solidarity.
Now, that was from his state assembly campaign way back in 2020 during the pandemic. This is around the same time, or 2021, whenever that election was. This was around the time that the Vanguard boys interviewed him. But what is so great is the way he focused socialism not on, you know, the means of production and all these sort of book-ridden terms, but he focused it on dignity and the government providing what it needs to provide to the people so they all can live with dignity, right? And how he mentioned, like, normally we think about it with housing and healthcare and education, but he made a great point. During the pandemic, like everybody needed internet. If you didn't have internet, you couldn't even go to school. You couldn't keep up, right? And there are a lot of neighborhoods around the country that don't even have access to good internet. So there were a lot of people that went through that pandemic with like no internet. Can you imagine being like locked in your house with no internet for that entire year? Not being able to go to school, not being able to like have connections with any of your distant family. Like, that is nuts. Okay. That is nuts. And we don't even think about that. Like, I think so many of us take that for granted because, you know, I live in a place where there's like 4 different options for fiber. Okay. And there are some people that don't even have broadband that are still using dial-up, or they have internet that goes out for days at a time, you know? And yeah, Ted, I did see Ole with the shout out. That was fucking amazing. We watched that yesterday. But this is crazy here. And I love this. Like, I believe that, like, yes, internet, housing, education, healthcare, and there should be some type of food subsidy that we all get, right? That below a certain income, right? If you make less than $50,000, you get a food subsidy, period, right? That should be a given. I mean, and I thought, I did a tweet today that I thought sort of tried to simplify this, because we keep getting told that socialism is bad or handouts are bad. But I think this tweet kind of sums up how I feel right here. Because look at this, okay? Look at this right here. It's like, you can't take my money, right? You can't take my money and give me health care, right? But you can take my money and buy Tomahawk missiles. Why is that? Why is it that my money can be used to buy Tomahawk missiles, but my money, you tell me if you use it to provide me health care, it's going to be bad for the economy? Dude, I'm not buying that. That's fucking bullshit, bro. That is some thick ass bullshit right there. There's no fucking way that you can take my money and buy missiles or buy tanks or buy riot gear for the, you know, for the fucking ICE or whatever, but you can't buy me healthcare or buy me food. Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? In fact, I feel like buying me food would actually be a better use of the money, because it's going into my local community. When we buy riot gear for ICE or whatever, where does that money even go? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that shit is crazy. You see what else I did, though? Look at this, dude. I've been using this Nancy Mace picture. Dude, I'm having fun tweeting this shit. Bro, I've been using this picture, and I keep retweeting it with different captions, like this one. We need to do something about homelessness and mental health in America. This woman at the gas station was really struggling, praying for her. Oh, dude, praying for her. And then I did another one like a couple hours later that said this woman has to turn tricks in the truck stop parking lot just to survive. Trump's economic policy is really hitting people. Oh, dude, I'm going to do those. That's literally going to be my internet meme now, dude. Oh, fuck, bro. But look at this. Did you see this? I feel like this one is good, dude. You see that? Socialism is the fire department saving your house. Capitalism is the insurance company denying your claim. Look at that. Now that hits hard right there, bro. That hits hard. That's the reality, right? That's real life right there, dude. Isn't that amazing? I saw that on TikTok, bro. Isn't that incredible? It's on my, if you want to download it, it's on my Twitter. Okay? You can go, oh shit. It's Twitter acting like Tommy. All right? Yes, no, $1 trillion in tax cuts for the wealthy is in fact, here, I'll put a link to it. Yeah, you should steal it. Spread it everywhere, boss. I stole it. I borrowed it from TikTok. I don't know where it came from, but there's the link. But no, you're right about that. About the $1 trillion is absolutely socialism as well, right? But I don't find socialism to be that crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's really nearly as radical as people think it is. All right, here's another one, dude. You ready? Look at this. Attack the woke, end up broke. Look at that shit, dude. Dr. Phil's media company, Merritt Street, just declared bankruptcy. Oh, shit, dude. Where's Janky? I even tagged it in here. I tagged him, bro. I was like, Janky, where is he? He needs a loan from the leader of YTY, bro. Cenk Uygur, is he going to come bail out Dr. Phil, dude? Merritt Street went broke, dude. Attack the woke, end up broke. Dude, the Cenk effect. Yeah, you make content with Cenk Uygur, dude. That's it. That's the end, bro. That's where you get off, boss. Dude, oh shit. All right, let's check in on our favorite bill here. Insufficient Republican support. Thomas Massie and several other Republicans voted against the procedural advancement. All right, so let's see here. Dude, why they keep lying about Social Security? Republicans don't have the votes. Dude, they don't have the votes right now. Hey, 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 goodbye. Dude, I love it. These guys are standing up to Trump. They'll push it in at like 3 a.m. like they do. Well, it's coming up on 3 a.m. there right now. So we'll see. We will see. All right. Let's see if it's Massie, Self, Sparks, Clyde, and Fitzpatrick. Okay. So we got Massie, right? So let's see. We got Massie. Right, there's Thomas Massie. All right, he's Kentucky. Then Self. Is that Trent Self, I think? What's his name? I can't remember Self. Keith Self. Okay, so he's Texas 3rd. Keith Self. Dude, these guys are fucking Republicans. Now, Sparks, okay, is the crazy Russian girl, right? Victoria Sparks. Dude, you know her, right? Oh, my God. Spart? Is it Sparks or Sparks? Who is it? Sparks? Is it her or is there a rep named Sparks? Now I'm a little confused. Yeah. Is it Sparks? Sparks is Indiana. Yeah. Yeah, she's crazy. We're trying to get the updated. Oh, Sparks. So it must be it. Her last name though is TZ. Sparks. I'll vote for the bill since we need to make it happen. However, I will vote against the rule due to broken commitments to his own members. Okay, so I guess she's saying, right, that she's going to vote for the bill anyway. Okay, she's just doing some nonsense, okay? Like, right, where she's going to, like, create some sort of fucking whatever, hey, look at me, but she's going to vote for it, okay? She's definitely going to vote for it. She is a nut, bro. Oh, my God, she is so crazy. Dude, have you seen her talk? She's insane, dude. She's the Russian woman. Watch. Here, let's find her. Dude, she is like cooked. She is a cooked noodle, bro. Good night, Steve. She is a cooked noodle. Here, let's find a good thing of her speaking. There we go.
Do you think that Russia would launch an attack like this if Vladimir Putin was actually serious about next week's ceasefire talks?
Well, definitely, Pamela, as you know, I always say you need to win wars as fast as you can and not as long as it takes. And now Putin has an advantage in that war, but I think he understands that President Trump is serious. He's going to be delivering on his promises, and he's going to force Russia to the table.
But yeah, he's going to force Russia to the table. Dude, she is crazy.
Still some of the, remaining Mexico policies. We need to get them back, to really to put pressure to control that border. So I just don't see anything else left.
So, I mean, dude, what's crazy about this is the little dual hand job that's happening right now in our government, especially around the border, right? Because they're trying to say the border's been invaded, and Trump is also saying nobody has crossed the border. It's like never been this well kept, right? I mean, have you noticed that double play that they're doing? Oh shit, bro. How do you give money to that woman's campaign? I don't know, boss. There she is, though. So this is So she's just grandstanding. She's going to vote for it. She's not really a holdout, right? I think she's a holdout because she's like mad at Mike Johnson. She's trying to like embarrass him or something. Yeah. I don't think she is reputable. Okay. But now Clyde, I know like Clyde in Georgia, I know that he is actually I feel like he's had some long-standing issues with Trump, right? We know Thomas Massey. Dude, Republicans need to stop electing stupid people. I mean, you think so, right? But I don't think that's ever going to happen. So it's Massey, Self, Sparks, Clyde, and Fitzpatrick. Okay. Nice. All right. So we know that Sparks is voting. How many do they need? Okay. How many do they need to pass? There's 5 holdouts, but do they need all 5? Or can they pass it with less than 5? Do they need all 5 of them, or how many do they need? Let's see what the last fucking vote was. 3 are allowed? Okay. So they need 2 of them to come around. So I feel like they already have Sparks. So then it's probably going to come down to which one of them is going to be bribed, right? Like Massey, I know he's going to be a hard no. Unless they change it, he's not going anywhere. So then it's going to be a matter of Texas, Georgia, and Pennsylvania getting bribes. But if they bribe those guys and they have to give them some kind of concession, then it has to go back to the Senate, right? So it is, there's going to be some issues here. Let's see if we can get a rundown of this. Oops. So it looks like the chamber is clear, right? I mean, the chamber looks pretty fucking... Looks pretty dead. Yeah, the 8 who are... These guys are not there. There are some people that are missing, right? So... So they need those 8 though too, because I mean, if they got these 5, it's just 212, 212. I mean, if they got all 5 nays, they're still not passing this thing, right? So I don't know what the skinny is. right? Let's see the most recent. This is the same shit. All right, so let's see if we can find a report that gets us sort of up to date. In the last hour, everybody's watching the live shot of it being sort of deadlocked. I would like to see somebody actually breaking this shit down. Oh, this is 4 minutes ago?
Meantime, a long night on Capitol Hill where House Republicans are doing everything they can to pass the president's mega spending bill. But a couple of GOP holdouts are standing in the way, refusing to get on board. And our Michelle Fisher is live in the newsroom with the latest developments tonight. Michelle.
David, just one day now before July 4th, it's a light week for many who are already off work ahead of the holiday, but not the case for members of the U.S. House of Representatives who are literally pulling an all-nighter as the GOP attempts to get the votes needed for President Trump's tax and spending bill before an ambitious Friday deadline.
We feel very good about where we are and we're moving forward.
House Speaker Mike Johnson optimistic as House members tonight voted to advance Trump's so-called big beautiful bill to the floor for full consideration. The 5-minute procedural rule vote stretching out for hours after it started around 9:30 Eastern.
Oh,
with GOP
shit.
leadership working to persuade holdouts.
6
the
hours
president
ago,
taking
bro.
to Truth Social amid the stalemate, writing, "For Republicans, this should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous." Speaker Johnson saying he planned to keep the vote open for as long as it takes.
We're going to deliver the big, beautiful bill, the president's America First agenda, and we're going to do right by the American people. This is going to be a great thing for the country.
But not everyone agrees. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimating the bill's massive cuts to Medicaid could cost nearly 12 million Americans their health insurance over the next 10 years. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries today with this pitch to Republicans.
All we need are 4 House Republicans to join us in defense of their constituents who will suffer mightily from this bill.
Some hardline conservative Republicans, meantime, taking issue with the spending bill's price tag.
Dude,
that could add $3.4 trillion to the national debt over the next decade.
Dude, it's asking for a $5 trillion increase in the debt ceiling. Yikes.
And right now, this procedural vote has been open for almost 5 hours on the House floor. Things are stuck at 207 yeas to 217 no votes, and that includes 5 Republicans.
Yikes.
House Speaker Johnson only has 3 Republican votes to lose in order for this bill to advance for full consideration.
Okay, now here's something I saw, though. So you ready for this, though? Check this out, okay? There's been a lot of gruff going on from the GOP about the CBO scoring. Okay, the Congressional Budget Office always looks at these bills and they draft a profile of how much this is going to cost, how much growth it's projected to do, to look at how costly. It's an estimate, right? But what I thought was crazy was Tim Burchett was running around talking about this today, okay, because they're like trying to say, you know what? The CBO, okay, the CBO, it doesn't mean anything. We shouldn't even be using the CBO. But watch this. He got called out. He got called out today on CNN where she caught him in his own deceitful behavior. Okay, watch this. This is brilliant. All right, this is brilliant right here.
I'm just waiting out to hear just exactly everything. We've been breaking it down piece by piece.
So you're taking issue with the CBO estimate here?
Yes, ma'am, I do have an issue with it. The office is very partisan. I mean, 85% of the people in their healthcare division identify as a Democrat, or they've contributed to Democrats, or they're registered Democrats. They're leading, I believe their leading economist is that. We ought to do away with these organizations because we use them when we like them. We don't use them when we don't like them. And you've got a bunch of bureaucrats in here that are on a lifetime gravy train. And frankly, we've got independent agencies that can do that. We have people up here with accounting degrees that can do the math. So I feel like that is a waste of taxpayers' money.
So in January 2024, there was a Republican who trusted the CBO so much that they reintroduced a resolution to require the House clerk to read the CBO estimate of any bill. I believe that was you, sir, the third time you introduced that resolution. Is that right?
That's correct, ma'am. Of course, and that proves
But
just
you
what
don't
I
like
said.
the
When it-
you
when it-
don't
when it
like the
serves us-
CBO.
Right, you see that? She was like, oh, but there was one Republican who was like insistent at the value of the CBO. She's like, yeah, that was you. What a fucking clown, right? Oh my God, but he's like trying to weasel out saying, oh yeah, we like it when we like it. When it agrees with us, we like it. When it doesn't, we don't. But it's like, no, that's not the way it works. Like Democrats always look at the CBO. You should always look at the CBO. It's a fairly, I mean, it's not going to tell you the whole story, but it's going to tell you what kind of predicament you're in. But oh my God, she roasts him.
Time you introduced that resolution, is that right? Much. That
is a waste of taxpayers' money.
So in January 2024, there was a Republican who trusted the CBO so much that they reintroduced a resolution to require the House clerk to read the CBO estimate of any bill. I believe that was you, sir, the third time you introduced that resolution. Is that right?
Jesus.
That's correct, ma'am. Of course, and that proves
But
just
you
what
don't
I
like
said.
the
When it-
you
when it-
don't
when it
like the
serves
CBO
us-
now.
Ma'am?
But you don't like the CBO now. You introduced that resolution over multiple years, but now you're dissing the CBO.
Did the bill pass?
Your resolution?
Did the bill pass? Yes, ma'am.
You introduced it, sir.
I know
It's
it, ma'am, but did it
irrelevant.
pass? They never pass because nobody wants any verification. It proves my point. When it serves
the
us
point,
well,
you took a
when it
stance and
serves
you were
us well,
you're-
we're for it. But when it doesn't, we don't. So
You're clear.
Oh, so now because the bill didn't pass, he's trying to weasel out of it. Dude, this is the guy that is like all like Mr. Drag Queen. This is the dude who was obsessed with drag queens. A couple years ago, he was like the head of the fucking anti-drag queen army or whatever. They're such clowns,
where
bro.
you are on the CBO, I just want to say, but just to get to where you said earlier that you were closer to voting yes after speaking with the president. I saw the vice president sent you put a nice tweet up that you responded to. What did the president say to you that made you feel maybe closer to voting yes?
He talked about the economic output that we would have that was not in the CBO scores.
Oh, yeah.
And
The economic output that we're going to have with everybody like laying people off for AI.
And along those lines, he talked about other things that I'm not going to share, but
oh, he's not going to share. He talked about other things like you vote for the bill, or I'm going to let your drag queen lover, like I'm going to go public with your drag queen lover, right? Oh shit, dude, homie is like.
And you dispute a lot of the lies. I'm not going to share.
Here.
He talked about the economic output that we would have that was not in the CBO scores. And along those lines, he talked about other things that I'm not going to share, but because it was in privacy. But I think there's a lot of things that will probably be revealed when this is passed, and I think America will embrace it further. I think, again, once you...
it's going to talk about the forced labor camps for all the people that can't afford to eat anymore.
You do some things like straighten up Medicaid and Medicare, and you dispute a lot of the lies that are in the media about people be getting kicked off. I think America understands what we're up against in this. We're up against people want to call it the swamp up here, but it's really just a sewer. It's a man-made thing that it doesn't produce anything.
And man-made sewer. Dude, these hillbillies are so fucked up, bro.
And it fights us every step of the way. And so I think once you allow Americans to get out and work and actually force those to work and get them off the couch that some of them are on, that are in the illegals and folks that are gaming the system, I think you're going to see that this country will bust wide open economically, and I think that's going to be a great thing for this country.
Yeah, this is Aaron Burnett to T-Mac, right? Says it down here. Aaron Burnett. She's good, isn't she? She's feisty. bro. She is.
Well, the CBO, which you put so much trust in for years and years, that you passed a resolution wanting estimates read before bills, is very clear about how many people are going to be kicked off of health care until you were against the CBO.
No, ma'am. You listen. If you want to do the editorial, just go ahead, and you don't need me on here. But the
These
CBO,
are facts, sir. I don't have to editorialize.
Scores. I would like to see what the economic output of every bill.
Dude, that like got under his skin. Huh? Is this not Aaron? Yeah, no, this is her. Yeah. No? Oh, maybe it's not her. Is there somebody sitting in for her? All right, hold on. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I think that's her, dude. Right? I think that's her, man. Now you're playing with my head. Yeah, no, that's her, dude. Dude, it's Brianna, is it? All right, hold on. Brianna, oh, you're right. No, it is. No, it's Brianna Kyler. Yeah. You're right. Dude, they look the same with the fucking hair, dude. It's her. Oh my God, they look the same, dude. That is wild. Except the hair, right? But they have like the same nose, dude. Yeah, no, I'm way off, dude. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is wild. Because if you look at it, right? They fucking look. They look kind of similar in some of the photos, but they're not, right? But then I was like, well, wait a second, dude. That fucking looks almost exactly like her. Different eyebrows. Bro. Yeah, no, I know, but like they change their hair color sometimes. But yeah, she's definitely darker. Oh my God, dude. Dude, I can't even tell him. Yeah, Brianna Kyler. All right. There we go. All right, we got that straightened out. Thank you. Dude, let's go. Well, you know, Bradshaw, the thing about it is, though, is you never have to worry about that, because when I make a video, just so you guys know, when I make a video, like, I always fact check shit. Like, even if I'm talking with stats where I say 65% of this, I will go in and like, I always verify all the information and the names I put in there. And then if anything's wrong, I correct it with like an insert. I'm super careful about that. I don't publish anything that hasn't been fact checked. And if something doesn't pan out, if I misrepresented something in the stream, I fucking don't put it in the video, right? If I had something wrong, I'm a stickler about that. I feel like we have to be. It's a really important part of the media time. You know what I'm saying? But dude, you got to check it out. But all right, yeah, that's fucking crazy. But dude, he got lit up by this
economically, and I think that's going to be a great thing for this country.
Well, the CBO, which you put so much trust in for years and years, that you passed a resolution wanting estimates read before bills, is very clear about how many people are going to be kicked off of health care until you were against the CBO.
No, ma'am. You listen. If you want to do the editorial, just go ahead, and you don't need me on here. But the
These
CBO,
are facts, sir. I don't have to editorialize.
Scores. I would like to see what the economic output of every bill. You as a taxpayer should want that too. And the CBO is the only organization we have.
See, the thing about the economic output is there's no way to measure that, bro. You know what I'm saying? These guys, when they start talking about economic output, okay, when they talk about economic output is such bullshit. And I have seen my entire life, okay, what ends up happening. Here is the story of the GOP. You know what they do all the time? They cut taxes and they give a whole bunch of money to the rich people. And then you know what they say? They promise like 6% GDP growth. Okay. But the reality is when you put a huge amount of money into the pockets of the wealthy people, they never expand how much they invest. Okay. They never do. And in fact, they maintain a pretty steady investment for the most part. they don't take a lot of fucking chances. You know what I mean? And dude, every single time the GDP goes like down the tank. And now Donald Trump, though, is like, oh yeah, he's like, we're going to have a 10% GDP increase. But look what happened today, bro. I mean, dude, look what literally happened today. You ready? You ready for this? Look at this. Boom. Microsoft, okay, just cut 9,000 workers, okay? And they already fired 6,000, 15,000 workers. They had $88 billion in profits last year. They fired 16,000 people already, okay? Because of tariffs, because of AI, you know what I'm saying? Like, and dude, we haven't even gotten hit with what's going to happen with the, you know, all these deportations, right? So you just had 100,000 people fired from the government by the clearing out of government jobs. You've had 100,000 people that are being deported, like most of which, 90% of which were working jobs, farming, service industry, construction. Okay. Who's going to work all those jobs? A bunch of AI evolution is happening. There's going to be a bunch of jobs that are transitioning to AI in the next 2 years, right? And it's like the thing I said right here, okay, where I said DHS is laying off the service, farm, and construction workers, and AI is laying off the rest. But like, bro, we're going to be in a little bit of a pickle where there's a possibility that we're going to have a bunch of unemployed people and a bunch of jobs that nobody wants. Dude, it's like, it is unstable. Right now, everything is unstable, man. Everything is unstable, boss.
You want that too. And the CBO is the only organization we have. If I could allow a private accounting firm to do it, I would much rather that happen. But the reality is it would have to be the CBO. And what do you have against knowing how much each bill is spent? Why is the media opposed to that? Why do you all on the left always fight every chance at America knowing what's going on? The problem y'all have with this bill, ma'am, is that it gets government out of our way and lets Americans make some decisions, and maybe hardworking Americans would have a better choice and a better shot at life.
Lets Americans make decisions? How? It lets us choose which concentration camp we're being locked up in? Like, what is he even talking about? Lets Americans make some decisions.
Life in this country without you all just telling us how bad things are going and trying to construct, and as you're doing with me, trying to dictate what I've said. And the reality is the CBO is a partisan organization.
Trying to dictate what I said by you showing exactly what I said. Oh, she's dictating now. Right? Dude, what a bunch of fucking clowns, bro.
And the reality is America has a right to know how much we're spending on every piece of legislation. I cannot believe you as a member of the media would not want open records. And that is exactly what that bill would do.
Sir, we have reported on what is in this bill. We do that time and again.
Ma'am, you all are trying to scare. Are you talking about the big, beautiful bill? You all just try to scare America by telling millions of people are going to be cut off this thing. You're talking about the.
They are. Millions of people are going to lose their Medicaid. It is by design. Okay? It is by design.
People that are on it illegally, that are gaming the system. And that is, and
no, we're not. The
CBO
is very clear.
The bill does not do anything of what you've said.
See, they keep saying this mythical, like, concoction. You've heard them say this, where they're like, yeah, the 35-year-old guys playing video games in their mom's basement are going to get kicked off Medicaid. They got to go to work. But it's like, bro, name me a 35-year-old guy that's, like, using a lot of Medicaid, right? Nobody at 35, what are they doing? They're not having heart attacks. They're not taking statins. You know what I'm saying? They're not like, you know what I mean? They're not having colonoscopies yet. Like, what are they doing? They're going and getting what? With their Medicaid, their big Medicaid scam. They're going in and getting like toenail fungus creams or something. Like, what are we talking about here? You know, their whole story is bullshit. It's bullshit, right? The whole thing.
And all you've done is scare America, and you're not doing a service to this country, ma'am. And you all ought to start talking.
Dude,
you want to
he's
talk
mad,
about transparency, and then there you are attacking me on a bill where I'm trying to make it transparent to how much we're spending on each piece of legislation. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me,
You
ma'am.
wanted to have the CBO estimate, and you're now railing
Because
against
that is the
CBO
only
estimates.
organization. That is the only organization at our disposal
Hey,
to
good,
do that.
good enough for you, and we are reporting on it. Congressman 𝗙𝗏, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been a real pleasure.
Dude, what a fucking douche, bro. Oh my God. Dude, what a douche. Dude, homie is like douchebag. He is a D-bag though, dude. He is. He's a D-bag. He is from the old school D-bags, okay? From way back when, right? He was all like crazy, like about the drag shows. Look at this shit. You ready? Watch this. This is 𝗙𝗏, drag shows versus shootings. You ready? Watch. Here we go.
Dadgummit, we don't put up with that crap in Tennessee, and we shouldn't. We're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals. Dadgummit, we don't put up with that crap in Tennessee, and we shouldn't. We're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals.
Yeah, we got to get those drag queens out of there, but shootings? Nah, we can't do nothing about that. We gotta take care of them there drag queens. Look at this.
A grown man dressed up like a woman should not be rubbing his crotch in front of a little child. That is ridiculous. Good on Governor Bill Lee and our Tennessee legislature.
Dude, a grown man dressed like a woman rubbing his crotch. Dude, it sounds like some of that shit happens at home at 𝗙𝗏's house.
The law goes into effect on July 1st. And you know, dadgummit, we don't put up with that crap in Tennessee, and we shouldn't. And the rest of the country should follow suit. This is wrong. As wrong as it can be. And we've let these bunch of radicals push the envelope. You know, I have friends of mine that are homosexual, and they tell me that, and they
Dude, he has friends that are homosexual. Dude, no, who calls them homosexuals anymore, dude? Dude, I mean, he just kind of outed himself there. It's like, you don't have any gay friends because there's no way you would say that you have friends who are homosexual. Nobody even uses that term, dude. Oh my God, bro.
Tell me the same thing. They say kids shouldn't be exposed to this. Right. This is a radical fringe that we're allowing to declare normalcy. This is wrong.
Dude, all my homosexual friends.
As wrong can be.
Oh, Lord. Dude, and then we look at him on school shootings, right? And all of a sudden, like, we can't fix it. Right? Oh, Lord, that shit is amazing, dude. That's 𝗙𝗏. Okay, here's 𝗙𝗏 on school shootings.
3 precious little kids lost their lives, and I believe 3 adults, and the shooter, of course, lost their life too. So it's a horrible, horrible situation, and we're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals, and my daddy fought in the Second World War, fought in the Pacific, fought the Japanese, and he told me, he said, buddy, he said, if somebody wants to take you out and doesn't mind losing their life, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, isn't that weird? When it comes to, like, stopping gun deaths, they're powerless. And we just got to live with the carnage. But, man, if there's a guy wearing a dress, like, holy shit, bro, we got to turn the world upside down. Now, I mean, call me crazy, and maybe I'm radical, but here's the deal, guys. Good night. Good night. All right. Call me crazy, and maybe I'm radical, but I don't think men wearing dresses even impacts the fucking world like one bit, bro. Like, goddamn, dude, you want to wear a dress? Like, all men could wear fucking dresses, dude. We could all just pile in dresses and fucking wear them to work, man. It doesn't mean shit, bro. But, like, guns, homelessness, you know, poverty, you know, like famine, right? Kids going hungry. That shit is like real world stuff, bro. You know? Like, goddamn, dude. A man wearing a dress is not harmful. A man carrying a fucking AK-47 is harmful. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. They spend all this energy on, like, the shit that is, like, not at all important. You know, and I don't even know why. I don't know if 𝗙cie_𝗶𝗹𝗀 here, if he, like, if his nuts, like, swell up or something, he gets all, when he sees a man in a dress, he's got to go double tug or something, and he's ashamed of that. But it's like, 𝗙cie_𝗶𝗹𝗀, just embrace it, bro. Like, show us that you're wearing your wife's panties. We're not going to judge you for it. We know you're wearing your wife's underwear at the office. It's okay, dude. You know, that shit is okay, bro. Right? It's okay, Timmy. Fucking little Timmy, bro. He's all fucked up because he wears his wife's underwear. Dude, shit is crazy. He just got owned, though. Boy, was he pissed. But 𝗏𝗡, though, he is now in Trump's bag, right? Dude, this is just so good, though, right? So in January 2024, there was a Republican who trusted the CBO so much that they reintroduced a resolution to require the House clerk to read the CBO estimate of any bill. I believe that was you, sir. Dude, clownery. All right, moving right along. Dude. Jesus. Good night. Good night, boss. All right, next up. So I take it they haven't passed it. Dude, this bill is still fucking held out. Did you see this? Trump was lashing out at Jamie Raskin. Rep. Jamie Raskin, a third-rate Democrat politician, has no idea what is in our fantastic tax cut bill, nor would he understand it if he did. This dope has been consistently losing to me for years, and I love watching his ugly face as he is forced to consistently concede defeat to Trump. And tonight should be another of those nights Raskin is in a bad position and a total loser. Like, bro, dude, he is so, like, Trump is so fucking mad. I know Raskin is brilliant, and Trump is so butthurt. Wow, dude. Yeah. He wouldn't understand it if he did, huh? Okay. Yeah, if he read the bill, he wouldn't understand it. All right. That's believable. Yeah. Dude, Trump is way out of his league. Oh, shit. Yeah, hold on. Wait, we got something here. Ready? Here we go. Good one. Hey, look at this. He's calling Jamie Raskin ugly. Oh, Lordy. Oh, shit, bro. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That is like, wow. I don't even know what to make of that, bro. Jesus Christ. That's frightening, isn't it? He does look like he's melting. So they still don't have the votes. So I guess they're just keeping the vote open? Is that what they're doing? Did they pass it? I'm not seeing that yet. Did they just pass it? All right. Yeah, no, so it took him fucking... So they who fucking caved, bro? Is he doing an interview right now? I mean, dude, you know, my thing is this, is I'm fine if they fucking pass it, right? Let them pass it. Let them suffer the fucking consequences, bro, in 2026. All right? Fuck it. Right? I mean, we've cleaned up, as long as I've been alive, Democrats have cleaned up a Republican mess. So, you know what I'm saying? And are you saying, you're retracting the messages, though, that say they passed it, so now you're saying they didn't pass it? The AP is live. Yeah, they're all live. Are they voting right now? Oh no, this is 18 hours ago. All right. Well, I don't really see fucking... So they haven't passed it, is what you're saying, right? According to Mike Johnson. Yeah, but I'm like... I mean... Yeah. They're... Well, no votes have flipped, right? They're still here. All right, still 207. Oh, there we go. All right, so they had the people from the not voted come in. Okay, this is what apparently here. Here's what's happening. Is the not voted are fucking tallying in. Did they all show up and vote? Is that what it is? So all the people that had not voted fucking came in. Well, and it looks like a couple of the yays, but dude. Right. So yeah, so a couple of the nays flipped and then all the NVs showed up. So they needed fucking, oh, and then somebody else flipped. Everybody flipped except Thomas Massie. He's probably the lone guy. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's Massie. That one vote. That's most certainly Massie. He ain't changing his vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 219. The nays are 213. On this vote, the yeas are 219. The nays are 213. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
All right, so yeah, dude, Massey's not flipping his vote. So, I mean, here we go, right? Here we go. So you saw what happened, right? 𝗙ecie_𝗠𝗆𝗀𝗧 said, you know what I'm saying? And they ran out of time. Okay, got you. So they got it to pass by forcing it to stay open past the allotted time. So, I mean, here's the deal. So, regardless, though, 𝗙ecie_𝗠𝗆𝗀𝗧, she passed this bill. She said she knew it was horrible. Oh, I hope they do something different with it, right? And I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they're going to do this shit, let them do it. And then we fuck them up next year, okay? We have to fuck them up next year. Let them pass their bill. You knew they were going to pass it. You know what I'm saying? You knew they were going to pass it, but we need to fuck them up next year. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fucking, the rest of this year, there's going to be a lot of economic impacts. Nobody's coming to America. Tourism is going to be down. ICE is probably going to kill some people. I mean, it's going to get fucking messy. But there we go. GG's. So that's it. The bill has passed. I don't know if anybody is reporting on this yet. Nope. It's like, 3 a.m, New York time. Nobody's really fucking reporting on it yet. Did Massey flip? Nah, did he? There's a final vote. So do they have to do the final vote because they went over time? Is that it? Because they went over the 5 minutes?
Well, here we are again. As Yogi Berra once said, it's deja vu all over again. Debating this bill in the middle of the night. Boy, this crowd must love prime time in Guam. This has been the worst process of the worst bill I have ever seen during my decade in Congress. This is not what our founders intended.
Oh, got you. So that was just to advance it to the floor, so the actual vote's going to happen in the morning?
From it. And while the process stinks, the substance is even worse. The bill still kicks 17 million Americans off their health care. Record cuts to Medicaid, record cuts to the Affordable Care Act, record cuts to Medicare. But that's not all. 4.5 million kicked off nutrition assistance.
Dude, if they have House amendments, it has to go back to the Senate, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just super confused at where they are in the process now because I'm getting a lot of misleading information, right? Everybody's got a different piece of information concerning this bill. So I'm not exactly sure where they are, right? But yes, if they add anything that is not in there, they would have to go back to the Senate. If they add like one sentence to this thing, they have to send it back, right? Like the House and the Senate have to be voting on a bill that has the exact same language from start to finish, right? And
mostly seniors and children. Does anyone know? It is a complete mystery to me and to the American people. But one thing is clear. There is one group making out as a result of this bill, the billionaire class. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield the remainder of my time. Or excuse me, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time is reserved. Gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to my good friend, the gentleman from the Keystone State, Pennsylvania, Mr. G.T. Thompson.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The One Big Beautiful Bill marks the most significant investment in our farm economy in decades and delivers the most sweeping reforms to SNAP since the program's creation.
Dude,
we're saving nearly...
Dude, these guys are fucking ghouls, bro. Just listening to them, they're fucking ghouls. This guy right here, 40% of his state is on Medicaid. So tens of thousands of people are getting kicked off their health insurance there, and he does not give a shit, right? He does not give a shit, bro. And let me just tell you, there's not a bunch of 25-year-old guys like soaking up Medicaid. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they're just not. So now they're debating, and then they're going to go back and do the vote. All right. All right. All right. So that's where we're at. Dude, it took them all night. Jesus, dude.
Welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Kelly O'Donnell in Washington, where it's all hands on deck as the president and House Speaker Mike Johnson try to deliver the votes to get his signature domestic legislation passed. Right now, action on the House floor is stalled. We are still waiting on this current vote to get to another vote to tee up the big vote on final passage. Bottom line here, the delay suggests leadership does not think it has enough support to pass the bill right now. It comes after a day of furious behind-the-scenes negotiations, with President Trump meeting with multiple Republican coalitions, from deficit-hawk conservatives in the House Freedom Caucus to the more centrist members who are concerned about the bill's steep cuts to Medicaid. Publicly, the president took to social media to urge the bill's passage, saying extending the tax cuts and reduced spending would lead to a, quote, economic renaissance. Speaker Johnson also touted the bill as he huddled with Republican holdouts. Here's some of what he told reporters today about his message to the Republicans on the fence.
When you have a piece of legislation that is this comprehensive and with so many agenda items involved, you're going to have lots of different priorities and preferences among people because they represent different districts and they have different interests. But we can't make everyone 100% happy. It's impossible. This is a deliberative body. It's a legislative process. By definition, all of us have to give up on our personal preferences. I never got to ask anybody to compromise core principles, but preferences must be yielded for the greater good.
House Democrats, meanwhile, came out in a show of unity against the president's mega bill, holding a press conference on the steps of the Capitol, highlighting the potential impact of the bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates would lead to nearly 12 million Americans losing their health insurance.
Every single House Democrat will vote hell no against this one big, ugly bill. Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. Community-based clinics won't have the ability to operate. And as a result, people are going to die.
See, the thing about this is I don't think the Republicans care about any of this shit. I think they want that money for ICE. That's all they want right now, is they want that money for DHS. Okay, they want to pound that money into DHS, and then they're going to start going after all the blue states, like viciously trying to impact their economies, hoping that they can wreak havoc in the second half of this year and the first half of next year to try and flip a blue state red. Like, I've been saying this from the very beginning, that the Trump deportation con was really about trying to ravage a red state economy, Illinois, New York, or California, and trying to hit that economy hard enough so the Republicans can be like, see, the Democrats just ruined the fucking, the economy here, and we need to vote there, right? We need to vote. Well, so Earl, the thing about this, when you're saying where are the Democrats on Gaza, they're nowhere on Gaza. They don't have a majority of the chamber. They can't do anything. Like, the Democrats are nowhere on anything, right? Like, they can't stop funding to Israel. They can't stop funding to, they can't like force funding to Ukraine, right? You know what I'm saying? They can't do shit. They're in a no man's land, you know? And yes, most of the Democrats are still Israel supporters. Most of the U.S. government is. I mean, most of them are Christians. So it doesn't matter which party. Like, I would say 75% of Congress are staunch Israel supporters. And that's not changing until we get like 200 people in Congress. You know what I'm saying? Like we really need to, if we want to change that. Dude, it's the most unpunk thing you've ever heard. All right. I mean, dude, I can just hide you from the channel if you fucking are a crybaby. There you go, boss. How about that? There you go. There you go. Now you can just fucking don't have to listen to me anymore. All right? There you go. Bye. Bye. Dude, seriously. Oh, you're not punk enough. Oh, I just want to sit around and talk about Gaza all day. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Dude, Trump Gaza. Talk about the guy who's going to be building a fucking, right? The guy who was working with Netanyahu behind the scenes during Biden's entire presidency, okay, to exacerbate that conflict in order so he could win an election. And now he's going to build a hotel on the ashes of the Palestinian people. And you want to talk about like the Democrats, right? Who fucking can't even prevent any piece of legislation from going through. Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck off. I'm sorry, bro. If you're one of those that's like, oh shit, we're about to fucking lose our health care, and you want to talk about what's the Democrat stance on fucking, dude, they're Christians. They're Israel supporters. Wake the fuck up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, bro, it's not even Democrats or Republicans. It's like every Christian in the U.S. government is pro-Israel, okay? And that's not going to change, man. You know, you're going to have to vote 200 people. That's just it. I've been trying to say this to the people that are trying to save Palestinians, okay? The reality is this, is the current U.S. Congress is never going to change from being pro-Israel. You need to elect 200 more AOCs and right, you know what I'm saying? You need to elect 200 more progressives into Congress. The people in there now are never going to be it. They're never going to like turn their backs on Israel because they're hardcore Christians that are like 60 fucking years old. Many of them are funded by AIPAC. That shit is never gonna do that. You need to run for office yourself and win on your pro-Palestinian platform, okay? Get out there, run for office, win, get in Congress, and change it. I support it. I support everybody who like wants to do that, right? If you want to run on a pro-Palestinian platform and anti-AIPAC, I support you. I want you to win and get in Congress. I want you guys to fucking take over Congress, but I'm not going to have you sit in my chat crying like bitches where you won't run for Congress, but you're expecting these Christian pro-Israel people to suddenly do your bidding. It's like you have to get back to reality, okay? You have to get back into reality. You know, the reality is if you want that, you need to make that happen. And you will get backing. But like, my God, I'm so tired of the people who are like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like Cenk Uygur, right? Like he thinks fucking, you know, MAGA is going to start voting Democrat. They will not. And the current U.S. Congress is not going to turn their back on Israel. Those are facts. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean that they're not like that they're right, because they most certainly are not. Like Netanyahu should be in jail. There's fucking war crimes going on there. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of like thinking this U.S. Congress, Democrats or Republicans, are going to become like anti-Israel right now, dude, no, that ain't going to happen. Right now, are there a bunch of people who could win in Congress and fucking make that happen? Absolutely. But you got to get out into the electorate and you got to get elected. you know? And that's what's so frustrating about having that debate is, I mean, there are people like 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗆𝗃 who is like walking the walk. Okay, she's out there doing it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They don't understand the DNC wanted this. I don't know that the DNC wanted this, right? I don't know about that, Lizzie, because the DNC is hurting right now. Nobody wants to give them money. Okay, the DNC is a little bit fucked up right now. They are like, nobody wants to give them money. And even Jasmine Crockett, she literally announced today, or I heard on like the Griot, that she is like pulling back from raising money for the DNC to focus on like charitable contributions for her own district. Okay, the DNC is having real trouble. Like candidates are still raising money. AOC is still raising money. Bernie is still raising money. But the DNC itself, like, dude, I've not donated to the DNC since the election. I don't think I will, actually, between now and the next election. Because I don't like the kerfuffle, all the shit they had over David Hogg and stuff. So the DNC is kind of hurting right now. You know what I'm saying? The DNC is kind of fucking in a bind. They're in a bind. And this whole Mamdani shit is not going to help them, I don't think. Right? But yeah, and like that's the thing though, that like, I don't know, dude. This is one of the things that bothers me about the current political climate, because I am a firm believer in standing behind the people of Palestine. But where I diverge from a lot of the leftists in my realm is thinking that I don't believe if we stand there and scream at the Christians in Congress that they are going to flip on Israel. They're not. I'm telling you they're not. I've been living in this country for, 55 years. I know how tied Christianity is to support of Israel. They believe it's tied to the fucking rapture. Okay? They're not doing it. You have to run. If you are pro-Palestine and want to change the way money goes to Israel, you have to run and you have to win and you have to be the change. Like 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗆𝗃, right? Like Mamdani, okay? Even though he's not running for Congress, he is running for mayor, but he is like setting a tone that other progressives will see him win and they might run for Congress in New York. And maybe somebody unseats Hakeem Jeffries, right? Maybe somebody unseats, you know what I'm saying, John Fetterman. You know what I mean? So like but the reality is we have to go into Congress, okay? This idea of like standing outside the building and yelling and thinking you're going to change them, you're not. We have to run. We have to run. We have to win, okay? And so that's the thing though, but like a lot of leftists get mad at me because they want the change, but they don't want to run for Congress and put their skin in the game to actually be the change. And that's what's hard, right? Is like, it's like, if you really want that change, you have to be it. We have to be the fucking change, you know? You know what I mean? We can't just like cry. You know, like we have to live in reality. And I mean, dude, like, maybe Kat wins. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I hope she does win. But I know that AIPAC is probably gonna they're gonna try to swing for that seat in a major way. And now I think there is one thing the DNC could do. You ready? Here's something the DNC could do that I don't know if they're gonna do it. But you know what they could do? You know what we could do, guys? The DNC, maybe we can pressure them. I don't know. I'm not like super, whatever DNC savvy. But the one thing the DNC could do would be to disallow super PACs in primaries. Okay? Think about that. If you take super PACs out of the primary, we need them for the general. Because of Citizens United, if we tried to do a general without super PACs, we would get crushed by the Republicans. But we don't need them in primaries. okay? If you take the super PACs out of the primaries, AIPAC can't just buy a seat in the primary. And that's really what's been happening is the people's candidates have usually not won. I mean, just like Mamdani, they spent millions, tens of millions trying to crush him. But there is so much anti-establishment in New York that Mamdani won, and he won with his social media campaign, and he won by fucking extending to the base. But the reality is if the DNC makes it so no super PAC money can be used in primaries, then we have a fighting chance. Now the people can elect their candidate. That would be fucking huge, bro. I think that right there feels like the biggest short-term agent of change that we can have, that maybe we get the money out of the primaries. And then, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm talking about primaries, one eye for Congress and shit, right? SCOTUS would squash that idea. I don't think they could. I don't think SCOTUS has anything to do with that, right? You know what I mean? Like the Democrats are allowed to set the rules of their primaries. You know what I mean? And Mamdani is not a communist, but sorry, buddy, I'm going to send you packing. All right, later. Enjoy. Love you. Smell you. Appreciate you. Not. And never going to see your shitty messages again. Fuck off. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Crying communism. Define it. You don't even know what it is. Dude, you totally agree with that? I agree with it too, Morgan. I know like there's been some talk of that. Right? Where, let's see. There's definitely been people talking about this. Right here. Here, Bernie's talking about it too. Democrats can lead the way to ending Citizens United by getting super PAC money out of Democratic primaries. This would be fucking gold, guys. Dude, ever. Let's go. Thank you. Right? I've educated you on some things. Let's go. I'm glad. I mean, dude, I know I don't look smart and I say dude like 50 times a minute, but I'm not as dumb as I look. All right. And I've been deeply like following like politics and exercising, like getting my hands on the levers of power in my own personal life for many decades, so I do know a little bit. I did go to UCLA. Yes, I did. Right. I also kind of flunked out of UCLA though, because I found cocaine. I found cocaine and women. And I said, all right, bye-bye engineering. Hello, rock and roll. Well, but Trent, though, you ready? The thing about this, though, Trent, is like this doesn't cannibalize. Oh, you mean like with the infighting, right? I mean, I think the infighting, it would be nice if we could stop the infighting. But taking the money out of primaries, though, it doesn't really affect the Republican side at all, right? This is just a safe way to allow the people's choice to actually win. So then you can get candidates that the voter base is excited about, right? And because unfortunately, money can sometimes win elections, right? Especially in those less publicized races. Okay, they're like local politics, congressional politics. A lot of those races are not making national news, and so the primaries are just buying these mailers that are spreading misinformation. The fucking, one candidate is getting all the news articles. One candidate is on all the billboards. One candidate is doing all the like social engagements because they have the funds. And the other candidate is forced to go door to door and rely on a lot of like, work that never gets seen. But what's great about it is they're just talking about it in the primaries, because obviously we can't take super PACs out of the general election because then the Republicans would just win every one because we wouldn't have enough money. So the super PAC money would have to, for the time being, stay in the generals. But if we get it out of the primaries, somebody like Kat has a really good chance because Kat Abu-Ghazaleh is running a great campaign. She's getting a lot of press and she's doing all the right things. But ultimately what's going to happen is sometime closer to the election, like, AIPAC or somebody is going to pick a older person who's been in the military, right? Who's like a devout Christian and they're going to check a few of the boxes, maybe Ivy League education, local business owner, and they're going to spend, $1 million on that campaign to try and defeat her with somebody who checks the military, Christian, business owner, right? It's like what they do. Hi, I served in fucking Desert Storm. And so therefore, I'm automatically the person you, mom and pop, should vote for. Not this radical young girl who's bartending and talking crazy shit about what Hamas supporter, right? That's what they fucking do, man. That's what they do. They pick somebody like that does that bullshit, okay? And then they pay to create the aura, right? Dude, it's so depressing, okay? But here's the deal, though, is even if Kat loses, she's fucking changing the world right now. She has elevated the national conversation. She's on fucking CNN, talking about the election. That's huge, okay? That's huge. It's a big deal. Win or lose, she has already changed the conversation. And I don't mean to be a doomsayer about the U.S. Congress. I consider myself to be a realist, okay? We have to be realistic, right? And this is hard. It's hard. Like for instance, if I wanted, when I switched from Fortnite to, politics, I had to be very realistic about what that change was going to look like. I had to look at myself and say, oh, okay, well, I got to become a better speaker in certain ways. I've got to eliminate some go-to mannerisms that, were things that served me in the gaming world, but aren't going to serve me in politics, right? I have to study more. I'm going to have to work harder. I have to become a different type of editor. I have to become a different type of, streamer. I have to do more prep work. And so in order to start on this journey, I had to be very realistic about where I was and how I needed to grow. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that it would be nice for us to adopt some of that realism into our political, in our political realm as well, of what Congress can do. Even with the president, right? We get really wrapped up with the president and who are voting for president. And I don't think the presidential vote is nearly as important as everybody thinks it is. Even with Bernie, dude, I loved fucking Bernie, right? But if Bernie won as president, both sides of Congress would have just shut down to fuck Bernie over, to be aha, see? We told you it wasn't going to work because Congress would have Jimmy Cartered his ass. And so, what we really need is we need 200 Bernies and AOCs in Congress. Then the president wouldn't even matter anymore because the people that are allocating the money would be fucking doing some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And that is we really need to focus on our local state house elections and on Congress. And I believe we need to run, okay? I think we need to run. Regular working class people, even if they lose, we need to run. We need to do what Kat is doing and elevate the conversation. I think that's going to be really important for us. Because I know a lot of people, are well, we can't change anything, but I believe we can change. YouTube adds black screen. That sucks, bro. Dude, you have an ad blocker on? Turn your ad blocker off. We can be so smart yet so stupid as Americans. Yeah. Well, I think it's hard because I think that our political decisions, right? Our political decisions are complicated by our emotions. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, for example, I'll give you an example. It happens all the time. Somebody is, their car gets broken into, or their house gets robbed, or they get mugged. And then they get really mad and they have the trauma of being mugged, the trauma of harm befalling them. And so then they're like, well, it's the mayor's fault. And the mayor's a Democrat. And like, now I don't like Democrats because the Democratic mayor is why my house got broken into. And right? Or Cenk Uygur, he was a Republican. And George Bush invaded Iraq and he got really mad. And so he's like, fuck the Republicans. I'm done with George Bush. MSNBC fired him. Fuck MSNBC. Fuck the media. Right? We like hold these little grudges and we hold these little like things where, and then we like nurse that shit, which is why you have some people that, they'll vote for a Republican and get mad. And then they'll vote for a Democrat and get mad. And then they'll vote for a Republican again and get mad. And they just are voting based on their anger of their own personal experience and not a lot of like, looking at data or the issues. And now I do agree though with what Brutus says is I would like to see Democrats become more fighters. Okay. I want to see Democrats, like a lot of times, not all, but a lot of Democrats seem to want to be what they perceive the voters wanting them to be. And I don't like that. I want to see Democrats pick a set of ideals, and then I want them to dig their heels in and say, fuck you, I am not going to bend on these ideals. Okay? I am not going to back down from this core set of principles, and fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for even suggesting I should, right? And that is really what I want to see more of. I want to see less of like, and like you see Cenk Uygur, right? He sits on there and says, like we don't have the votes for this, or popular opinion is against this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's popular opinion. It doesn't matter, right? None of this shit matters. What matters is you set a core set of convictions and policy based on those core convictions. And then you fucking like tell everybody to kick rocks, right? And you stick, right? And yes, we got to be a little feisty. And I may run for Congress at some point, guys. I might do it. Okay? It may be a thing that happens. All right? Certainly not a fucking above it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Has there been some announcement about this? So this thing is getting voted on. So the resolution to advance the bill passed. Okay, so this thing is now going to get voted on, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely something to be said about like the Democrats having to clean up the mess. That has been a recurring problem. All right. There's definitely been a recurring problem of Democrats needing to clean up the mess. It is right. It is not. It's not uncommon. Going to be staying up late in Congress. I stay up late right now. Dude, I stay up till like 9 in the morning every single day. And I usually wake up around 2 or 3 p.m. Right? I do that every day. Yeah, no, let's go look at her take for a little bit. I've got a little bit of time here before I go. They'll be voting soon. He said he has the votes. All right, well, we'll see. I'm sure he does have the votes. I'm sure, I mean, dude, they should have never not had the votes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should have been a slam dunk. I mean, I'm not agreeing with Donald Trump, but when he said this should be a slam dunk, like, he's not wrong, okay? It should have been a fucking slam dunk. Like, literally, they control both houses of Congress. It should have been easy peasy.
I want to put this one to bed.
Dude, the Blair White thing, I can't even watch that shit. All right, let's watch. Shall we watch some of this? This is the one, right? This is the one, isn't it? The one with dude, Mike Johnson definitely needs a fucking 9-iron. Right? He is like so 9-iron dependent, it's not even funny. All right.
For being here. We really appreciate you.
All right, let's see what our thing is. So, Trump's war on Massey. Do we look at the New York City primary? Let's go to the New York City primary, shall we?
Mom Donnie has
their missile and uranium facilities.
Did you see this?
Meanwhile, Trump
look at her.
Okay, Anna.
First off, look at Lindy Lee. Oh my God, dude, she is in the 9-iron, the king of 9-iron clubs. You see her face when she said Mom Donnie? Like the smiling, like she's just, right? Like, I don't know what her deal is, but she is such a fraud. All right? She is such a fraud. She is like, it's like pure clownery. All right, let's see what we got here.
You get last thought on this one because we literally have 10 minutes with him, and I want to get to the New York mayoral race.
I mean, look, when you're talking about Medicaid and Social Security, you're talking about universal programs, right? Younger generations help fund these programs that elderly people and disabled people are able to use to their advantage, right? But elderly people paid into the system and helped the people who were older than them previously. I think the problem with Social Security specifically, though, is that you're right that there is an unfairness to the system, meaning that there is a cap on the amount of your income that gets taxed for Social Security.
Yes.
The vast majority of American workers never hit that cap. I believe it's at like around $170,000.
Yeah, 172,
After that amount of
I think.
income, you're no longer taxed for Social Security. And that is putting the Social Security program at jeopardy, which is why progressives argue you need to raise the cap. It's not fair that for the vast majority of workers, all of their income gets taxed for Social Security because they never hit that cap. But for the tremendously wealthy, I mean, not even tremendously wealthy, you're making $200,000. There's a certain portion of your income that doesn't get taxed for Social Security. I think we need to lift that.
And then it's crazy. If you make $10 million, you pay the same amount into Social Security that somebody who makes $170,000 makes. Isn't that crazy? That is mind-blowing. If you make $150 million, if you make $300 billion, you pay the same amount into Social Security as somebody who makes $170,000. Like, there you go, bro. That is why, like, Social Security is running out of money.
Social Security is an incredibly important universal program. It's considered the third rail in American politics because of how popular it is, and it literally keeps elderly people off our streets. So I disagree with you, Dave, on this issue, but we should have a lengthier debate about it at some point.
Okay, but if you're taking from a poor group to give to a richer group, you're keeping more people off the streets by taking from that poorer group. And look, whatever, we could debate this whole thing later, but I'm happy to talk about the New York City mayor race. I actually find that very interesting.
I know, because I realize that each one with this group, each one of these topics could have been a show unto itself, and that is something that we're gonna work out in the third quarter of going forward when we have incredible guests like Dave. But Lindy, just jump right into it because our time is limited. So for us, What is happening? What is the latest with the mayoral race?
Dude, why do they have Lindy Lee taking the lead on this, right? Like Lindy Lee, the person who was pro Kamala and Joe Biden right up until the morning of the election, and then all of a sudden she became an immigrant that hated Kamala and was like pro-Trump. She's the one taking the lead in the whole New York mayoral race. Dude, now watch her face though, okay? She starts smiling when she says his name. Like she is a buffoon.
In New York City.
Okay, and because we're short on time, I probably should omit the clips. Okay, so basically, you guys have probably all have heard what has happened. Mom 𝗙𝗀𝗏𝗏 has won the New York City primary, which is now pitting him against Eric Adams, the current mayor, who's running as an independent because he didn't think that he could make it, rightly didn't think that he could make it through the Democratic primary. And we just heard a few hours ago that Andrew Cuomo has decided to remain in the race. There's been some talk that he would drop out of the race because they were afraid that they would divide up the opposition to Mom 𝗙𝗀𝗏𝗏. But it sounds like it's going to be essentially a three-way in addition to the Republican candidates. But given the voter registration landslide advantage that Democrats have, it's highly unlikely that a Republican will win.
Dude, 𝗙ص is not winning. Dude, the guardian angel guy? Dude, that guy, dude, 𝗙ص, the fucking guardian angel Republican dude, like that guy is just there for comic relief. Yeah, I don't know why she's all smiling, dude. She's like reading her little list. It's her big moment in the sun. But Mom 𝗙𝗀𝗏𝗏, I think, is going to fucking clean house.
I'm just going to get right into it. And I might say something that might offend some folks, but go ahead.
Do it, girl.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the nod.
Sink your teeth in.
I am absolutely stunned that the city that is famous for being terrorized by Islamic terrorists is on the cusp of electing Islamic extremists who was chanting globalized intifada.
Dude, he never chanted globalized intifada. Like, he never chanted that. She's a fucking liar. He's not an Islamic extremist. This guy, right? She comes out of the gate. First off, if he's Muslim, then certainly he's a terrorist, according to Lindy fucking Lee. But the fact that she said he fucking chanted globalize the intifada, that never happened. That never happened. He just refused to like start playing wordplay with trying to say that phrase automatically means like terrorism, right? But she is fucking like globalized fucking Dana Dentata. My God, dude, what is she doing, bro?
Intifada as its mayor. That for me is just jaw-dropping. This is 24 years after 9/11. And it just completely blows my mind that this is happening. But putting that aside, I also want to address his Marxist agenda and all the things that he's laying out.
His Marxist agenda. She doesn't, I bet if we asked her to define Marxism, I guarantee you she wouldn't be able to define Marxism.
As he's posturing himself, portraying himself as a man of the working people. But my view is that it's basically a Trojan horse for government takeovers of many different programs. For example, he promises free buses, city-run grocery stores, a rent freeze, a 30 minimum wage. But who is paying for that? Because as we all know, there's no such thing as a free lunch in American society. Someone is paying for that.
Yeah, you know who's paying for it? I believe the NYPD is going to be picking up some of that tab. Right? It's going to be on the NYPD. Right? They're going to pay for the buses. Let's go, dude. NYPD is kicking in, dude. They're going to give up like some of their overtime and a couple of tanks in exchange for the city to have some free buses. Right? Let's go.
And it's working class families in New York City. And we've seen the same thing play out in cities like San Francisco. And it's been an absolute disaster there. And this New York City is a home of Wall Street and real estate empires. His policies would devastate the economy there and drive a lot of big money out of the city, the same money that drives the economic engine of arguably the greatest city on earth. And I'm from Philadelphia, and I still concede that. I believe that his Marxist playbook will crush the economic engine. Beyond that, he continually uses the inflammatory slogan, globalize intifada, which I think...
Dude, he's never used that slogan. He has not once ever used that slogan at all. Never. He's never even uttered it. Okay? He's never even uttered that fucking slogan.
Raises huge red flags. He claims it's about Palestinian rights. But from what people hear, I hear, is Jew-hating extremism. And given the heavy Jewish population in New York City, I think his incendiary rhetoric, it undermines the fabric and the essence of the city and is just a tremendous show of disrespect. Democrats, on the other hand, they praise his identity politics, they praise his diversity, but they conveniently ignore the words that he chooses to use, which I think is extremely loaded. And he also portrays himself as a struggling immigrant, but let's not fool around here. He is an Ivy League activist rather than a genuine activist on behalf of working class Americans. And Democrats prop him up as a champion of diversity, but a lot of Black and Latino leaders said, hey, we don't want this guy. He's going to take away our influence. He's going to undermine the working class. And that's why a lot of them went for Andrew Cuomo instead.
Dude, he won the Latinos by a lot. He did lose the Black vote. The Black vote stayed traditional, like, establishment Democrat. That's been a pretty common trend, okay? Of a lot, especially the older Black people, which is understandable. It was the Democratic establishment that, like, you know, passed the Civil Rights Act and ushered in a, like, new level of freedom. So a lot of those older Black voters, they are like ride or die. And you know what I'm saying? And, like, I would never fault them for that. Like, I totally get it, you know, but acting like they're voting for Cuomo because they like Cuomo, I'm not really buying that at all. I think they have been heavily propagandized to believe that like socialism or anything remotely socialist or of the people is going to be harmful to them, right? And, you know,
primary. And from my point of view, this isn't so much as an endorsement of Mamdani as a rejection of Cuomo, whom a lot of people see as corrupt and a vestige of a dying political dynasty.
Dude, she's just reading, like, who wrote this? Did she write this? Did PBD write this? I'm curious who wrote this little soliloquy, dude. It's like some bad Shakespeare, bro. Right? It's like Shakespeare on fucking, you know, Pepto-Bismol, bro.
Lastly, one quick thing. I think this is another manifestation of the extreme leftward lurch of the Democratic Party, and one reason I was forced to leave. I can't get on board with state funding of gender-affirming care. I can't get on board with the Marxist policies.
Dude, Marxist, yeah, I don't remember Marxism talking about gender-affirming care, but whatever. This is a PBD network, yeah. It's not necessarily on his network, Luke. It is, you know, it's just on YouTube, right? But it is funded by Valuetainment and PBD. It is a right-wing propaganda machine that Anna Kasparian is like the lefty on there, and also she's courting her right-wing audience, right? She's sort of, I feel like she's moving the goalposts of what left wing is to right wing people. Does it actually play on Valuetainment? Does he have a network though? His shit is just like an umbrella, right? Where they fund the shows, but like this show never plays on PBD's YouTube channel, right? And they don't have like a TV channel, do they? The network is just sort of that funding umbrella, isn't it? I think. You know what I'm saying? Dude, let's go. As a 50-year-old black woman, you would not have voted for Adams or Cuomo. Good for you at the edge. Let's go. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. Good for you. Good for you.
Government run groceries. And just today, he came out with another proposal. He wants to tax whiter neighborhoods to pay for everybody else. Nat, do you have the article that...
Now, again, not to misrepresent the Mamdani proposal about the whiter neighborhoods, is he didn't say, oh, I want to tax the whiter neighborhoods. Okay, this was part of his campaign website. What he actually said was he said that the property tax system in New York is highly inequitable. And in fact, the poorer minority neighborhoods pay a much higher ratio of taxes than the whiter, wealthier neighborhoods. Okay, and that the wealthy white neighborhoods pay way less of the share of taxes compared to the value of their homes than the poor minority neighborhoods do. So what his idea was is we need to provide some equitable relief. We need to stop overtaxing the poor minority neighborhoods, and we need to elevate the amount of taxing we do on those white, wealthy neighborhoods. All right. And he's not taxing them for being white. He's not going after white people. It's just the data is showing that the white wealthy neighborhoods, and it's also showing that in America, where there's a wealthy neighborhood, it's also a white neighborhood. Gee, and where there's a poor neighborhood, it's a lot of people of color. Huh. Why does that happen? Right? Why does that keep happening in America? Is it something systemic? Could that be because of 50 years of redlining, perhaps? That like now all of our property values are tied to color, right? And so what he's doing is he's identifying the data that's showing that. But when white people hear, wow, the data shows you guys are living in a privileged world and everybody else is getting taken advantage, they're like, oh my God, you're attacking the white people. And it's like, no, man, we're trying to point out the system and how the white people are like getting let off, right? You know?
That I put in the production doc, the Newsweek article. Can we show that?
Dude, look at Anna though. Like everybody else is like smiling basically. Anna's getting fucking pissed though, dude.
But
look at her. Oh, dude, she is pissed. I mean, she should be. It's been like a dozen fucking lies in a row, bro. Jesus.
That's it. This is one. Did you find it?
Oh, is that so? He made a rap video, right? That's your problem? What's her problem? That he's got no shirt on with a fucking apron, or does she not like rappers? Right? Oh shit! Let's go at the edge. You're progressive and you teach black feminism. Good for you. That's amazing. I love that. And I love that you're out there like, I don't know, like, I don't know, educating. Like I feel like all of us have a little educating to do, especially if we've been educated. Like that's one of the things that seems really problematic to me in America is a lot of us don't get educated. You know what I mean? Like we live in a bubble of like ignorance and emotion, and then we make really big decisions based on that. And, you know, and that's the kind of shit that leads you to like seeing a TikTok about a person of color or an LGBTQ person, and then defining your whole reaction to all of them based on one fucking TikTok. Right? When it's like, whoa, like maybe we should get educated. Maybe if white people want to learn about the systemic, you know, racism in America, maybe they should go and learn from a whole bunch of people of color that have experienced it, right? Instead of like going to a bunch of white evangelicals like Charlie Kirk, who's telling them that like you deserve everything, right? Like that was one of the things that Jenny after George Floyd, like Jenny got into, my partner, she got into, you know, anti-racism work. And that's when I kind of started learning about how, you know, which I firmly believe, like some of the anti-racism people say, it's no longer enough to simply not be racist. You have to become actively anti-racist. That we can't just, like, there's so much damage has been done from racism and systemic racism and the systems, the financial system, the judicial system, the real estate system, right? So much has occurred that we can't just not be racist, and because the system will still be doing the racism for us. We have to become actively anti-racist and start breaking down the racism of the system. And that's really about getting educated. You know what I'm saying? It's about getting educated and learning about it and assessing ourselves and like learning about our biases and shit like that. And it's a long, hard road. You know, it's a hard road. I mean, I'm lucky I have a Gen Z kid, so he like keeps me on my toes with that. Dude, Suncats, let's go. Appreciate you. And I think though it's up to all of us, right? Like it's up to all of us. It's not just like a thing for the black people to fix, right? It's like all of us. It's not just a thing for the, you know what I'm saying? For the activists to fix. It's really all of us, you know?
Oh, no, it's fine. But
yeah. Well, while we're looking for that, I was going to let Anna respond, if that's okay. But did you make that last point, Lindy? I was going to let Anna.
One quick thing. I'm just saying that his win in the Democratic Party gives fodder to Republicans who are rightfully saying that these socialist Marxist policies aren't going to work. And honestly, it flames it. This is an electoral advantage for Republicans, I think, because a backlash against him will galvanize voters and encourage them to go to the polls, not just in New York, but across the country, because people don't want this. We rejected that in 2024.
Okay,
so
Anna, go.
I'm just curious, is there a day you wake up where you don't see terrorism everywhere? Because you literally just implied that this guy's a terrorist. And I found that bigoted, Islamophobic, and absolutely disgusting. If you don't like his policies, I can understand that. And we can have a discussion about those policies. But it seems like you just have a problem with the fact that he's Muslim. You have a problem with the fact that he looks a little different from other previous leaders. Don't interrupt me. I'm still speaking. I didn't interrupt you. Listen. The problem with that mayoral race is that the Democratic candidates who ran against him in the primary offered nothing. They offered nothing but the status quo. Andrew Cuomo was the former disgraced governor of that state who somehow thought that he had, I don't know, the entitlement to have his like past erased and that people would totally accept him again.
See, one of the things that's interesting, like, did you see their reaction up here? When Anna comes in and Anna like goes off on her, which rightfully going off on her, like that was hugely Islamophobic and incredibly bigoted, the whole spiel. But the thing though, with these people up here laughing, right? Like Jillian and Amy up here are laughing. Doesn't it kind of feel like this whole thing is just a setup? Like it's a scripted reality TV? Where Lindy Lee's going to come down here and read the bigoted shit. And then Anna's going to come in with her little left wing, like you're being Islamophobic. And now I'm going to trash the establishment Democratic Party for running these guys. Okay. And then they're up there laughing like, oh, here we go. This feels like the same shit when they slid the tampon across. Like this show feels like it is scripted to, okay, this is going to be our big drama, right? That's why Lindy Lee's reading the Islamophobic shit and smiling, because she's like, oh, pretty soon in 2 minutes, Anna's going to start yelling at me. And this is, it just feels like fake, okay? And you know what I mean? And also, though, as I see people in chat pointing out, like Anna's been really inconsistent on this, because she will talk about the bigotry when it comes to Muslims, but she, you know, Mondale Robinson, Pastor Benny, there's like trans bigotry. There's been bigotry with people of color, Kamala Harris, right? Karen Bass. I mean, like the bigotry that Anna seems to ignore is wide and far. But man, if you say anything about Muslims, like she's like a freedom fighter. And that's really weird and inconsistent. But yeah, this whole show just feels astroturfed, right? It feels like pretty fucking like not real.
I'm really happy to find that the people of New York City rejected him because he's a complete and utter disaster. Now, as it pertains to Mamdani, we should actually talk about what he focused on as he was campaigning, because he actually did run a fantastic campaign. Even if you don't agree with his policies, he reached out to Trump voters in New York City and tried to figure out, hey, what is it that made you vote for Trump?
Well, he reached out to Democratic voters who didn't vote for Kamala Harris. They're not necessarily Trump voters, okay? But it's scripted to limit progress, keep people from advancing. It is. It's like, here's the, you know what I mean? Like they're even that. Those people weren't really Trump voters. They were Democratic voters who didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris is what they were.
What is it that's frustrating you about your current situation? He hyper-focused on economic frustration, much like Trump did, by the way, in 2016. That's what put Trump on the map. Mamdani did the same, although he had a little more substance to the exact policies that he wanted to implement. When it comes to government-run grocery stores, look, I agree. That seems a little weird. He was asked to elaborate on that a little more during a recent CNN interview. And he said that he wants to have one government-owned grocery store in each borough. So there would be a total of 5. That would cost about $60 million. Obviously, that would be paid for through taxpayer money.
Now, let me just tell you, okay? Let's just look at the possible benefits of government-run grocery stores, okay? So one government-run grocery store in every borough. So now you have the government that's buying food for that store, that's negotiating the prices for the things in that store, okay? And it's able to sell without a huge profit margin. There's no shareholders. They don't need to make money. So now every borough is guaranteed to have one store that the poorest people in that borough can afford to like buy enough food. There's not going to be a food desert anymore in those boroughs because there's going to be one that's affordable. Okay. Now that I think is really important. Okay. And what's more though, guys, you ready? We know what happens with shit like that with those grocery stores in poor neighborhoods. We know that they tend to automatically starve them of quality food and then they charge them more. They end up shopping in essentially glorified convenience stores, buying really unhealthy food at really exorbitant prices because the system, the capitalist system is set up to exploit and fuck those people over. Man, you go to the poorest neighborhoods and there's usually a liquor store on every corner. There's like not a good grocery store with healthy food anywhere within like close proximity. It's a feature, not a bug. Okay, so now by putting a government-run grocery store in there, there's healthy food that is guaranteed. There's no food desert. They're not forced to fucking pay convenience store prices. Okay, and that is a boon for the poor people. Now, the other thing that could happen is people that are not poor may decide to go shop there because it has really good food and it's cheaper. You know, the fucking people up in the Upper East Side would go to the cheap grocery store. You know that those cheap fucking rich white people will be in that government store getting that cheap shit. Now, maybe the other stores that are price gouging are going to lower their prices a little bit because now they have to compete with that government-run store. That can have a citywide effect on bringing the prices down a little bit because we know they're gouging us. Okay, we know they are. Okay, grocery stores are making fucking like gajillions, bro. The big grocery stores are making massive amounts of fucking money. Okay, like massive, you know, so there could be a lot of possibilities with that could have citywide effect. You know what I mean?
I do not like, I want to be clear about this, and I think this is a huge flaw among the left, okay? When they target racial groups, when they say we want to tax white people, it turns people off, including...
Again, though, he didn't say we want to tax white people. He merely pointed out that the way taxes are in New York, there's white neighborhoods that are wealthy that are undertaxed. And there's poor neighborhoods of color whose property is overtaxed. So I don't think he's saying I want to tax white people. I think he's illustrating why is our tax system doing this? Why are the white neighborhoods wealthy and also undertaxed? And why are the neighborhoods with people of color not wealthy and those neighborhoods, the property is overtaxed? Why is New York doing that? Is that good for the city? It's probably not good for the finances. It's probably not good for the survival of the people living in the city, right? There is a difference there. It's like weird. The minute you talk about white people, all the white people are like, well, where'd the nuance go? Right? They're like, you know what I mean? When they talk about crime and they bring up the word Chicago like every 15 seconds, they don't have a problem with that, right? They don't have a problem with comparing 9/11 to a Muslim running for mayor. But goddamn, if you talk about a white neighborhood like not paying enough taxes, they're like, nuance. We need some nuance here, right? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Including me. Don't do race-based garbage like that, okay? But aside from that, and I do think that was a foible, I mean, let's talk about what else he focused on. I mean, he focused on so many different things. So he went to those halal street vendors, and that was his first political ad, where he asked them, you know, how is inflation impacting you and your prices, how much you're selling these, street food items for. And being able to actually connect with ordinary people is what put Mamdani on the map. Okay, this nonsense about him being like a terrorist, I'm rejecting that.
First of all, I said he was on the street and never called him a terrorist. And I'm with all due respect,
it was gross. It's gross.
How are you condoning his usage of globalized intifada? Is that
I think it's stupid. He probably shouldn't say stupid stuff like that because it's going to be misinterpreted. I know what he meant by it. It doesn't matter though. People like you are going to be like shivering about it. So he shouldn't use words like that.
Because it was a horrible thing to say. He should not have said it.
Dude, a horrible thing to say. Dude, why globalize the intifada? Why is that a horrible thing to say? Intifada means struggle, right? I just don't see the horror in that. She's like, that's a horrible thing to say. That's her whole thing. Dude, the halal carts in New York City, dude, with the chicken and rice, that shit is like, I live for that, bro. I live for that shit. You know what I mean? Dude,
it's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay, Dave, go. I could go. Your turn.
Well, I mean, I guess I could kind of split the difference a little bit between the two of you. Like, I don't think like city-owned grocery stores are just a weird idea, and I think his plan for freezing rent-stabilized apartments and increasing the number of rent-controlled apartments, I think these are all going to be disastrous policies if they're enacted. I don't like to see that stuff win. I just feel like there's a level of like delusion amongst the Democratic establishment who's so opposed to this guy, and it's almost like they don't see two very obvious things to me as an outsider who's not a Democrat, and not, I guess, anymore a New Yorker, although I was born and raised there. Okay, number one, the Democrats, the establishment of the Democratic Party, they're the most humiliated, castrated, discredited political group in the world. They literally they went all in for 8 years saying that Donald Trump was the greatest threat in the history of the world and that he was a Russian spy who led an insurrection. And
I mean, dude, he is a threat. He did run the insurrection. They're talking about fucking immigrants being eaten by alligators. They're ICE running around with masks on, grabbing people and putting them in cars with no license plates. Sorry, Dave Smith, if you don't see that as a huge threat, you fucking dumbass, just because you're a white fucking libertarian, right? Sitting in a fucking beach house somewhere being like, oh, nobody's fucking trying to deport me. You know what I mean? Like, bro, what the, this guy is a fucking clown, dude. Jesus.
And denied the results of an election, and democracy is over if this guy wins again. And then when the time came, the best they could field was a senile career politician who was an unimpressive dimwit before he lost his mind.
Dude, yeah. Well, I mean, dude, it's funny because, like, what did he think was supposed to happen, right? When Biden decided to run, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's so complicated about this. It's not like the party apparatus can just take the incumbent president and say, you're not running. I mean, you think people would be complaining about that if like they had a problem with superdelegates and Bernie? You think if the DNC brass said, you know what? Fuck you, incumbent president. We've decided you're not running and we're running our own candidate. You think that would have felt more democratic? I mean, Joe Biden just kind of fucked us, right? He did. I hate to say it. I liked the man, but he got too old. He got too fucking senile. His accomplishments were great, but he kind of fucked us by running again after he said he wouldn't. And then he put all of us in a position of like, what do we do? We were in uncharted territory. You know what I mean? And so that's really hard. I don't see that as just the Democratic brass. I think the Democratic brass overriding the incumbent president would have been just as complicated as the incumbent president deciding to run when he shouldn't have. And ultimately they forced him out. And then we were stuck with, you know, I mean, I don't even want to say stuck because 81 million of us voted for Biden and Harris. So we should have been okay with Harris, right? Like I didn't have a problem with Kamala Harris because I voted for her as vice president. So for me, I was like, okay, if Biden died, which I thought he was going to, she was going to be president anyway. We voted for that. Why did we all get so mad when she was the candidate? You know, like we all voted for them. You know what I mean? It's like,
and was just like totally attached to every disastrous policy in the last 40 years in America, the war on drugs, the war on terrorism, just everything. He was all over it. Then at the last minute, when they realized he was too senile to run, they subbed in like a cackling retard to try to be the one who stopped it. And they just got totally humiliated.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Like throwing the R slur around is really like that. That's what we needed. Right? That's what we need. We need a fucking 45-year-old man, right? Like calling the R slur, like shitting on the black woman, right? I mean, dude, this shit is real clown level because Kamala Harris is fucking smart, bro. She's fucking smart. You know what I mean? And so when you use the R slur on her, like, that's disingenuous. That's racism right there. Dude, she was a senator and a capable one. We all saw her eviscerate people on the Senate floor, okay? All of us did, okay? She was a very capable attorney general of, like, the fourth largest economy in the fucking world, and she fought hard and did a capable job doing it. You know what I mean? She won a lot of elections. Okay, she's smart as hell. She's fucking compassionate. She's very qualified, right? And then, but no, this guy is a racist fucking piece of shit, right? There's no way around it, dude.
The guy who they said was the greatest threat to humanity wins every swing state and the popular vote. And then they want to walk back,
dude, he won by 1.4% because a bunch of people didn't show up.
Now, when they're so scared of this guy, the best they could feel was Andrew Cuomo. It's like the guy who just destroyed the state. Did they not realize how much people have woken up to how insane COVID was and how wrong he was about everything? Oh, and by the way, add in, he murdered senior citizens.
Yeah,
murdered them. He forced these nursing homes who were begging and pleading. I mean, if you could think back to what it was in May of 2020 to send COVID positive patients into a nursing home, that's premeditated murder. Like, you know for a fact people will die as a result of this. Then he covered it up. Then he lied to Congress about the cover up. I mean, the guy is like, the fact that they would even run him or that he's considering running as an independent now is wild. And look, the fact here is, all this stuff about saying, oh, he hollered, globalized the Intifada. Nobody cares about this except people on TV and like people in very specific advocacy groups or something like that. It's just not what actually matters to people. The fact of the matter is that Andrew Cuomo, because he's such a member of the establishment, brought in all of the baggage of the war, which really should be irrelevant to the New York City mayoral race. But he brought in all that baggage. The truth is that Democrats in New York City, including the Jewish ones, don't support what Israel's doing to Gaza. And for him to be asked in the debate about whether he would commit to visiting Israel or whether you believe in a two-state solution or a democratic one-state solution, this stuff was just goofy. I mean, if they were smarter, they should have asked him about, like, you know, the concern that Jews in New York have about anti-Semitism or something like that. But the fact is that the Democratic establishment, as always, had to carry defending the wars, which is largely impossible. Whereas Mamdani ran a campaign very specifically targeting the unaffordability of New York City, which is the actual crisis, not who hollered Intifada one time and what you mean by that. Okay. No one cares about.
Dude, Lindy's like, oh, wait, don't take away my Intifada talking point because I sank my whole life savings into it.
This stuff. The fact is that the price inflation over the last few years has just been killing regular people across this country, but nowhere nearly as terribly as New York City, maybe Los Angeles. But that in New York City,
San Francisco,
to be a regular person, it's just like impossible to survive there now. And while I do think that a lot of his prescriptions to the problem will only make it worse and aren't good, like at least he was talking about it. Yeah, but at least he was talking about it. That's the whole game. Then you got to get in there and make the argument. Make the argument about how your policy will actually drive the price of chicken over rice down more than his will, or have look. He did a video on the chicken over rice thing, and he didn't even realize at the conclusion of his video the whole problem was a crony government program. It had nothing to do with capitalism where you needed some government program. You needed to stop giving out the licenses to street vendors to these cronies. But regardless of that, at least he's talking about real issues that people actually care about. And that's why he won. He wasn't rejected by the people. He beat the former governor of the state who's born into political royalty as essentially a nobody. So he should, if people, whether you like him or hate him, you should.
Dude, Lindy Lee, she's just a prop, right? Lindy Lee, I believe, is just there to be fucking hated.
Look to this race. There's a lot to be learned there.
Dave, I think it's unfair to just poo-poo incendiary rhetoric like globalized Intifada, because I know a lot of Jewish Americans who are offended by
talking about that.
You're talking to one of them. I'm a Jewish New Yorker, and I promise you, it's fine.
Maybe it doesn't bother you, but I have Jewish friends who are bothered by that, especially given the escalating anti-Semitism around the country, not just in New York.
There's a real problem. There's a real problem with paranoia in the Jewish community. I'm well aware of it. I'm probably much better than you are. It's fine. Jews are doing fine. We're thriving. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I know some people feel differently, but I do want to say in terms of government-run stores, you know what happens when governments take over merchandise? Look what happened with alcohol. Government-run alcohol shops, the purpose...
Dude, we have government-run alcohol shops in Oregon, and it is fine.
Lindy, just hear me out.
It's fine. Dude, we have government liquor stores in Oregon. You can buy beer and wine in a grocery store, but if you need liquor, you have to go to a government-run liquor store. Okay? Is it a little bit inconvenient because they're closed some days? Sure. Right? But other than that, it's fine. You know what it is? There's a consistent price everywhere in the state. Okay? You're not getting upcharged for liquor, right? You're not going somewhere and you're paying like $10 more because it's in the boonies. No. Anywhere you go in Oregon and buy a fifth of whiskey, it's the same fucking price all across the state. It's actually kind of beneficial. What happens in a non-government run liquor store? You go buy liquor in a little liquor store in a small town and they fucking charge you $7 extra for that bottle because there's nowhere else to buy it. Okay? So the reality is those price controls are actually fucking beneficial, right? But Lindy Lee here, she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about because she's so goddamn dumb. God! Jesus, right?
Yeah, Lindy, you are a communist compared to me. You have no idea. I believe I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I don't believe in any government whatsoever. So like, but you don't need to convince me about how government messes up pricing mechanisms.
This isn't a reply to you. I just wanted to add to the point that government run anything is a recipe for disaster. And I can assure you that I'm not a communist by any stretch of the imagination. The communist regime in China murdered my great-grandfather. To say that I'm anything associated.
Oh my God, dude. Now she's got to go into my great-grandfather was murdered by a fucking communist. Like, oh great, that's her only connection to communism, is talking about her dead great-grandfather that she never fucking met. Okay, she's never met the man. He was dead before she was born, most certainly, right? And that's her whole fucking attachment to communism. Look at Jillian, like fucking
with them is actually quite.
No, just compare to me.
Dude, she's like even laughing when she says this. This whole show is so fucking funny.
All right, I am nothing. You're a free market libertarian. Yes, compared to the Chinese communist, you're a capitalist, but compared to me, you're all a bunch of commies.
All right, well, I can, maybe that's true.
Dude, what a fucking weirdo. Okay. So now about the halal carts. Okay, this is something we should look at here real quick. Okay, is the halal carts, okay, were a big part of how he won this election, okay? And I'm looking for the details here. Okay, is right here, okay? See, right here, what it is. With cameras rolling, the fresh-faced Democrat mainlined a takeout container as he explained in simple terms how the city's arcane permitting process was squeezing vendors and driving halal inflation. Okay? So what this was is there was some licensing problem, right? There was some permitting process that was affecting the cost of permits to have a halal cart. Okay? And so the prices were getting jacked up. So what he did was he like took an issue of like how much your chicken and rice is in the cart on the street. And he like broke down how a city policy was responsible for that inflation that was hitting people on the street. Okay. And it was, right? What's behind this $10 chicken and rice? An $18,000 permit. Okay. And that's what it was. Okay, it's like the prices went up because of this insane permitting process. Okay, so not only were they paying more for chicken, not only had prices gone up, but there was an insane permitting process, right? An $18,000 permit. The business paid a former vendor $18,000 in cash for a food cart permit. An illegal arrangement because the city limited the number of permits. So what was happening was the city was limiting the number of permits. So then people were selling their fucking permits, right? Isn't that crazy? There was like all this hoopla. Okay, they bought a cart for $47,000. They paid $3,700 for an electric sign, $2,000 for a menu display, and then $18,000 for their permits. So this was what was going on here, right? They pay $18,000 in cash every 2 years to rent their permit from a fucking Bronx cab driver. And so, right? So there's this crazy shit where the city was limiting the number of permits, and then the people who own these permits are renting them out for these exorbitant money, right? It's like corruption. Right? The city was causing this by fucking, right? And then what happens though? If Eric Adams had a friend who wanted a permit, oh, they'd probably get that fucking permit, right? You know what I'm saying? And isn't that crazy? Like, this is what's nuts. So what happened was Mamdani fucking shined a light on this, you know? And right? So there you go. This is part of why this guy won. You know what I'm saying? He broke that shit open, right? Yeah, and I mean, guys, let me just tell you, every city that has a crisis, there's like a limit about this. Like, we have this in Oregon, okay? We have this thing in the city of Portland called like the urban growth boundary or something. So what it is there's a boundary, and inside that boundary, the city limits how much housing can be built and the type of housing can be built. And we have this crazy zoning that is like single family zoning in neighborhoods that are like urban in the middle of the fucking city. And so that combination of single family zoning and that urban growth boundary make the prices of real estate in here like insane. We bought this house, okay? We bought this house fucking 12 years ago, and it has nearly quadrupled in value, okay? Almost 4x, guys, in 12 fucking years. That's insane, bro. That's insane. That the value of our home has nearly quadrupled in value in 12 years. It's like, it's a combination of fucking policies that create that, right? You know what I mean? That create that shit. That's what's fucking, you know, there's a lot of that. And in New York City, dude, it's like way bad.
But I just want to say that all of his recipes, all his prescriptions for New York City, it's just horrendous.
Look at her. She's laughing because she doesn't even know. Look at them. They're laughing because she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. She's like, all of his policies, all of his prescriptions are horrendous. I can't tell you why, because I don't even know what I'm talking about. This is what PBD told me to say on this stupid AstroTurf podcast, right? So everyone's laughing because you see this? You see this? She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Well, I can, maybe that's true. But I just want to say that all of his recipes, all his prescriptions for New York City, it's just horrendous. The most grating for me is his plan to tax whiter neighborhoods. It's extremely divisive, and he ran as a person who would encourage unity. This is precisely that kind of thing.
Listen, again, I'm just making the point.
Dude, the thing that's crazy, dude, yeah, what's crazy about this is how do you stay on this fucking podcast? Right? Like, who's going to sit on this fucking podcast? And you know what I mean? And you know what else, guys, though? Can I just tell you about housing? As long as we're on the subject of housing, I see some people talking about it in chat. But there's been two other things that have affected housing that we've never really taken into consideration. Three things, really. So first off, one thing that happened was around 12 to 15 years ago, Airbnb became a reliable way for people to increase their income. So people were taking their second home and they weren't renting it out. They were Airbnb-ing it and they were making a killing. Okay? That started to have an effect on property values because it was restricting the supply. Then the pandemic hit. Okay? And when the pandemic hit, what ended up happening was the construction crews stopped working. So all across the country during the pandemic, the amount of housing being built got restricted by the lockdowns and by supply chain disruptions, etc. And what Morgan just said here too, simultaneously corporations started buying houses and using AI algorithms that told them how many to rent and how much to rent in exchange for the highest level of profits. So there's been like a perfect storm of, like, you had the Airbnb crisis, followed by corporations buying and using algorithms, followed by fucking a housing shortage with supply chain interruptions and construction not building. And now we're in this weird fucked up place where the building supply is behind and Trump is, arresting construction workers, which is not going to help the building part. Okay. And nobody's restricting the corporations from buying shit, and nobody's doing shit about the price fixing from management companies and the corporations elevating the rental prices and shit. And so now we're in this really fucked place where we need somebody to point all this shit out and start making a move to fix some of this shit, right?
That, like, look, there's a certain point where you lose the moral high ground. You lose the right to even make that argument. And as one of the biggest funders of the Democratic Party, while they were in the lockdown regime, you just really don't get to tell anyone else about how they're going to ruin the city or how they're going to pit people against each other.
Because I wasn't one of the biggest funders during that time. I was in 2024. That's actually incorrect. I have to.
So, okay. So after they did that, you rewarded them with funds.
No, actually, 2024. I did nothing to perpetuate the COVID lockdowns. Actually, that was one of the catalysts that had me leaving the party.
Dude, she is such a clown. All right, guys. 2 a.m. I gotta go. I gotta go make some videos. Gotta go make some videos about these idiots. But my Lord, my Lord, same thing happened in Denver. Yeah, Hugo. So you know what it is though, is it happened everywhere. Okay. And especially if you lived in a city that became, right? If you lived in a city that sort of like became desirable, like Austin, Texas got hit really hard, Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, everywhere where there was like a lot of like migration to, I feel like, almost every major city though, in every state, they deal with a lot of migration from the rural areas. Right? Like if you live in Colorado, anyone who wants to move to the city is moving to Denver. So Denver is going to have this competitive price market. And so every major city that is like the hot spot of the state becomes the area they target, and it got bad here. Like I have to say, guys, honestly, me and Jenny, okay, you ready? We met in 2013 and we bought a house 6 months later. And it was stupid because it launched our relationship into a very complicated place. And we could have broken up if we hadn't gone to therapy for several years and ironed our shit out. But we also, part of the reason why I even took that crazy move is because I knew if we didn't buy in 2013, we were never going to be able to buy. Like literally what was happening was prices were just starting to sort of like elevate. And I had been living here since 1999 and I had already seen like the first round of elevation. And so I knew if we didn't buy then, we were never going to fucking be able to buy a house. I was like, literally, I know this is crazy. We are crazy for doing this, but I think we're not going to regret this. And it's true. We could not have bought. Like we literally got in at right before it just fucking blew up, man. By 2016 in Portland, you were done, right? You were done. If you didn't buy, man, like this same house would have been 3 times the fucking price. It was just, there was no way. You know what I'm saying? There was no way. Like it was like the greatest move we ever made. And but here we are. All right. Dude, 12 years ago. Yeah. He bought earlier. Yeah, man. Dude, if what's crazy is if you're ready for this, I mean, hindsight is always 2020. But when I moved here in 1999, I could have bought a house in the ritziest inner part of like urban Portland, not up in the hills, but in the ritziest part of inner Portland. I could have bought a house for $100,000. Okay. In 1999, that would be worth like $1 million to $1.5 million right now. Okay. $100,000 in 99 would have bought that house in Portland. That was the explosion of people moving here from California, from San Francisco, and combining with that urban growth boundary and that single family zoning and then the Airbnb and all that other shit. Dude, $100 grand. And those houses now are like $1 million of 1.5, right? It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. Like just complete fucking blowout. All right. You guys have been great. I got to get some work done though. All right. We gotta fucking hit that edit mode, baby. Go out with the little wanteds. Wind it down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Paint away. Day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye, then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. Yeah, baby. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in All right, dude, I gotta get to work. Oh shit, 2 a.m., baby. Dude, we got a lot of work to do, man. A lot of fucking work, boss. All right? We're going to get it, though. Get in there. Keep fighting. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good night. What I